Hi, and welcome to a special Thursday with friends. And I needed to make it something a little bit easier after a nice long weekend of streaming longer than most people ever should. And then obviously also doing a Monday night show. Uh, First off, it seems like I might have some issues because I'm looking at the strength and it looks like I don't have a really good strength. So if I start freezing up, I seem choppy, please let me know. But today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on some special guests, people that were involved in the streamathon over the weekend, and just kind of get their feelings on it, how they thought it went, what they liked, maybe what they didn't like. If you were on it and you want to jump on, shoot me a message. It was put in the one chat that we have, so please feel free to jump on. But the first two guys that have jumped in here are Tony's Figs and Frostbite's GI Joe Repro. I always get your name completely obliterated every time. Still, I feel like I'm always obliterating it. So. It's just all the names put together. So
come together as one.
Thank you guys for joining. It was an interesting weekend, and I think I learned a lot on how to what I want to approach it next year. I think I learned how great so many people in this community are. A few people, again, if you donated anything, but there were some people that they donated huge amounts, and for a good cause. And again, you guys are also able to donate that to my pockets on Mondays if you want. But I don't know why you want to
donating shit to you.
Wow, Tony has a McFarlane Toys T-shirt. Man, you really are down with Uncle Todd there.
I so am, dude. I'm so happy I found my shit today. Got my Arkish Chummock.
Oh, you finally got it.
This is the second one. I found this at Best Buy today. I found my other one I posted on Instagram last week.
So again, I just want to talk about what you guys thought about this whole stream. I will say this. I think the one thing that I learned is I need to take that week off.
Yeah.
Monday seemed like a okay idea. I didn't want to do it. And I went almost 3 hours. And then even today, I was like, I like this idea to kind of bring some guys on. So, Frostbite, you were going to be the first, but Mark came in and bumped you. But you.
Wow, how rude.
I was touting that all week. I'm like, first up, Australians, let's do it. And then the day before I said it, and he's like, yeah, actually, that's changed. I'm like, you're telling me this online?
You bumped your ass?
Awkward.
It didn't matter. Again, you were gracious enough to pick a time that worked for you, which was great. Because there were lulls that I was really worried about. Obviously, the late night
lulls
where the other Australians at 4 a.m. jumped in, so that was great. But I was worried about during the day because I chose to go 36 hours. No one else did. And I didn't ask anyone else to. But to have other people willing to come on during the day was great. And Tony came on from his work duds, and then was obviously on a lot more after that. But Frostbite, Lenny, I want to call you Frostbite. I know you. I should know you by name. What did you think of it? Like, how did you think that it went?
The way I looked at it was just this culmination of why, as all of us YouTubers do stuff. So why we have this community to me, it was like a culmination of getting us all together for one common cause to help people, or do things that are actually helpful to the community. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense.
Like we all sort of do our own separate things, all of our own separate broadcasts and stuff. But it was a reason for all us to get together and just do something really nice all together.
No, and I appreciate it. And I said to Tony, I said, nothing's going to beat Joe Fest in the fact that we were all there, all kind of together. But this is a real close second, because even though we couldn't be together, we're all on here. Krusty, you are the loudest fucker I've ever heard in my entire life.
Let me try it without the earbuds, Punk. It's probably these things pick up the farts of angels, man.
It wasn't just me, right? Okay, I'm like,
Hey, Punk.
It's like someone asked for an example of squelching, and Crow's like, "I've got it."
This is a great ad for the Apple Airbud right there. Is my mic better now?
yes.
Good.
Okay, yeah.
You sound like you had a critter eating there or something.
No, it's these stupid Bluetooth AirPods I have, man. You can pay all the money in the world, they still sound like shit.
I just got new JBLs. They're pretty dope, but I haven't hooked it up to the computer yet. Just my phone.
All right, so Lenny, you were saying how you like the fact, like, we just brought everyone together, and again, like, I didn't even know what my goal was other than to raise money for Toys for Tots. It was like,
that was a goal.
Yeah, but obviously within that goal, you have to. Again, I said I can't go 36 hours alone. First off, I physically can't do it. Second off, how boring could that even be? Or maybe it gets really good when I start grasping for things to talk about.
I sort of found, because I was in and out. I think I did 2 broadcasts, and each time I tuned in, there was some new topic being discussed, and I actually quite liked that. It was like a TV broadcast that I liked the people talking regardless of what the topic was.
So that was kind of the
That's
idea that I had too, and to have the different shows and different people on was kind of a change of pace. Not only to showcase, but that there was a change of pace, and it really turned out better than I thought. Other than during Saturday when it was just Darren and I on, because there was this big, huge gap where there was no one, and Darren was like, I really have to go to the bathroom and let pretzel out, but I don't want to leave you alone. And I appreciate it so much. But it seemed like I tried to give it like an hour between it. And I really planned on having other people on, but everything kept running, in my opinion, pretty smoothly till we got into the other show. And then no one seemed to want to overstep their boundaries, which was really good, because the last thing you want to do, on a stream like that is, like, hey, I need you to get off and be rude about it, because you don't want to do that. You just want to kind of let people know. But everyone seemed to know, like, when it was their time.
I think, like, that's an indicator of the people that you invited on your thing, though, is everyone is super respectful of you and what you're trying to achieve and your event. So I know, like me, I made sure my life was in order so that I could give you 100% of me.
Oh, and I love 100% of you.
Yeah,
and I bet you do.
I owe you a thanks.
Frostbite gives you all of him.
But buddy, I owe Frostbite a thanks, because his stuff was so well organized, and it was such a good topic that the sidebar discussions you had about the Joe art on the vehicles, you weren't able to finish, and me and Darren and Aaron popped on, and it was like, but this art is actually way more interesting than what we were about to talk about. So I thank you for leaving us some of your fine fruits to dwell upon, man. That was awesome. I appreciate it.
I do want to mention Darren, 3-star drawl, actually. contacted me after it was all done, and sorry if I'm revealing behind the scenes here.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Oh, I
contacted
mean,
me and-
Yeah.
And
No.
he said, "I'm really sorry that we took your topic."
Yeah.
And I said, "You shut up." Like,
Well, we felt bad,
that
man.
is
We
nobody's
talked
topic.
afterwards. Yeah.
Like,
we felt
it's
bad.
all good.
Well,
It is
more
fine.
than anything, Lenny, you didn't have a problem that I stole that from you.
No, I don't care at all.
Because I did ask if you guys aren't subscribed to him, go subscribe to him. He did this video, and I added more pictures, but a lot of those pictures were his, and it's really funny because when we got to those pictures, we were all sitting there like, I have no idea what this is, other than we realized that Crocmaster Cobra couldn't get rid of.
No. Storm Shadow drives everything.
Yeah, Road Pig was just like, I'm on my way, and they're like,
Yep.
he's a big lug. We can't stop him. But what you did, like when you did that, I loved it. I was dying watching that video, and I was just like, again, how many times can you talk about the toys over 36 hours? And of course, my voice is always going to be heard. And I'm like, we need to do other things. And I loved it. And I didn't think that it could get better, but I thought Matthew added so much to it. I thought he added an element. And the fact that none of us had looked at this stuff before, like together. So, and here he is right now, the guy you just outed, Darren.
Big dads.
What's up, everybody? Happy Halloween.
What's up,
Going on,
BG?
stranger?
So let me ask Crow and Down South, because I know they have something else they have to do in about a half hour. And sorry to step on your stream, but Thursday is my day too. So technically,
It is your day, so this has just happened to be a special occasion.
This is my second day. Oh, and also, before anyone gets mad at me, I know I said Punk's Pit will be the first Friday of every month, but it ain't happening tomorrow. We will do it next week.
You suck.
It just dawned on me that Friday is the first, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
I wondered about that.
It didn't even dawn on me till today, and I'm like, oh shit, I did say that. So yeah, if anyone was expecting, we'll do it next Friday. If I would have planned it, if I would have realized what it was, I would have done it, but I was a little occupied, and I think I've spent enough time on here. I don't even think I'm going to be on Oz's stream. If I go on, it might be on if they want to talk about this really quick. I need to get away. And I think both my kids are going to be gone this weekend, so I might just run around my house naked.
There you go.
Just because I can.
There you go.
Leave the camera off. But
And they're done that.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Your other paid page.
You know what?
Well, you know what? I've already got one strike. I don't want to get a legit strike.
No, man, it's good to hear you actually openly say it's time for a break. You know, like you put out a lot of stuff. You just finished a lot of complicated things. Like putting on a streamathon is one thing, but organizing the charity side of it as well is a complete, that's a whole basket, man. Absolutely take a break.
Yeah, and again, I should have content. I know I have stuff that I need to film. I'll probably have Nemesis Immortal or not. He might go back to Stowe, Ohio, and then go back to Illinois, and then maybe he might bounce back and forth until I finally get him.
I saw you posted that today, and I thought, damn, Stowe, Ohio again. He's gonna go berserk.
But now it's according to the mail there, it says it went back to Illinois where it originally shipped from, which means it'll go back to Stowe, Ohio, right?
I haven't even checked mine because mine's coming DHL too. I'm just gonna let them surprise me. I'm not even gonna stress.
DHL.
I wonder if I'll get the Dragonfly before then.
I wondered that.
No, probably not.
Well, I did get the shipping, so the shipper has been made.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you guys, because you guys came on next, Darren and Crow. what did you enjoy? Like, what did you like out of it? Was there anything you didn't like that you would have changed?
Crow age before beauty.
You son of a bitch. No, man. I mean, off the top of my head, I've never been a part of anything like that. I mean, I've like a stream-a-thon. I'm, this was an opportunity for everyone to participate in something actually legit. You know what I mean? Like, it's a charity for kids. It's who doesn't want to be a part of that? You put it together. I can't pick holes in that. It was all improvised for a lot of us. A lot of people put a lot of work into it. It was all noticeable and it was a lot of fun. Next year, I don't know, maybe a bit more advertising before, like, just getting the ball rolling, because this was your first run, right? So now we know what it's going to look like. We know how to advertise it.
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing, to be able to talk to other people, to get them, hey, this is what we did last year. Please put this out there. And again, I don't think I would want to change the format, but I do think I want to tighten some stuff up. Quickly, Turk Murph Toy Solution says, the whole thing was good, Punk. My hat's off to you and the other guys that gave time for the kids. And this is perfect for you because you donated so much during their segment. I can only say thank you. Hopefully you were able to get that Starduster from Aaron. But thank you very much. Like, you donated a lot. And again, none of it goes to me. So, it's not like I'm going to sit here and say, oh, thanks so much. This all goes to the kids. And obviously a big thank you to Sergeant Reds, who are going to be supporting this, making all of this happen with Sergeant Bogus. And that's not a bogus name. That still blows my mind. Like, this still,
yeah,
Larry Bogus. Not only that, he has my
that.
name, and then he's Sergeant Bogus. Like,
for a minute, I thought that they gave a last name to Lil Larry there at the store. That's what
I thought someone had just changed their name to be funny, and then we knew who it was.
Frostbite, did you ever meet a guy in uniform that had just the most unfortunate friggin' name and rank like combination when you were doing it?
Oh, the common one that I have seen before is, because we have in the Navy, there's the rank of seaman, and you always get last name Staines.
Yeah. Seaman Staines, yeah.
Seaman Staines is a pretty common one.
Yeah. We have the rank of
Seaman
ordinary
Staines.
seaman. You have to be ordinary seaman before you can be seaman over here. So nothing
There you go.
extraordinary.
Well, we have seaman and then leading seaman.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
No. Yeah. Did you ever meet a Major Dick?
No.
That would definitely be the seaman that impregnates, right?
There you go.
Seaman.
There was,
Well,
I had met
Captain
an army
Focus.
officer whose last name was Power. So at some point he would have been Major Power.
Yeah. Captain Power.
Yeah.
Cox.
Captain. That's great.
So Matthew says it would be cool to contact Sergeant Larry Bogus to have him on for a short segment. I definitely will, for sure, next year. Both John and Dee said, hey, he would gladly come on. So that is definitely something that would be on the docket. It would also be, I've totally forgot to have Dee and John on. Like, I didn't even think, because I'm like, oh wait, I have all this stuff while they're at work, but they just walked around. I'm glad everyone finally got to see their store.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my suggestions, was actually give them a time slot like at night after the store closes where they could do like a private thing. So I'm glad they jumped on too. I'm glad I was on when they were on.
And I'm going to tack onto that. I just remembered you kicked this off with Gridiron. I would do that year after year now. Kick it off with Gridiron and then go.
If possible. See, I really wanted to kick it off with Sergeant Reds.
Yeah.
Should have. If you could.
But that's, there's the store is opening. They have people rolling in. And then I thought about what you said, Darren, but then I had already scheduled everyone. Like, I had already scheduled the night, and I didn't want to, like, hey, I got a spot here at 1 a.m. for you.
Yeah. So that, my suggestion is just that, like, you're going to do it, nail your date down for next year, and take the people like Sergeant Reds that you want on, and fit their time around it and then schedule. Cause you probably thought of half a dozen people that you wish you had of maybe said something to. That like, other than that, and maybe trying to tighten up the lull time, I think you did a really, really good job with leaving like the buffer, like the hour between stuff. If it runs over or just for free time for people to get on, I wouldn't change that at all. That was great.
Yeah. So I think going forward, I left the hour buffer so I could have people on. My biggest worry was I would have to kick people off before the next show. But it seemed, luckily enough, like I didn't expect like Frostbite and myself, and because Matthew jumped on, that we would run as long as we did. But it ran into your show, which I think actually worked better. But I also don't want to be like a hard, 7 o'clock they're starting. I don't want to have it. But I think that half-hour buffer or that hour buffer works. And if we have to, it seems like there's always someone that's willing, to stick around and talk. And I think
you're dealing with some like semi-professional people too. Like I knew when my time was up, and I knew once those guys joined, I knew that was time for me to go, it's been great. Have a great night. And that's when I sort of folded away.
And Lenny, I think most people thought like that. But you never know. There are people that overstay their welcome. And let's be honest, I'm a talker, so like I run over. But I'm also running over on my own. Yeah. So I'm glad it seemed like almost everyone did that, and that's great. And I hope going forward, because I don't think I'd want to have too many. I don't think I want to change. I can't think of anyone I wouldn't want to have on that we had on. But there's only so many, there's other people that I would think about having on. The one that I thought about, and I talked to you guys how like I didn't want to just have like try and reach out to all the big names. I wanted to have people that had something to do with us. The one I really wish I would have reached out to now is Dan Larson. And that's because he has a relationship with Sergeant Reds. So it really would have been a perfect thing. But I do think going forward now, like I said, having one, under your belt is kind of like, hey, we've already done this. This is what we know, how it goes. And it ran pretty smooth.
And he could always go back, like if he had any questions or concerns. I mean, you're going to leave it up so he could go back and skip through it and kind of see how it flowed. Yeah. He knows what he's doing. We know that. Yeah.
And I have talked to him, so he does know who I am. I've talked to him on multiple occasions, actually in person. But I know, like I said, he has that connection with Sergeant Reds. The thing that I don't ever want to do, and again, I want to, obviously every year, if we can make it bigger with raising donations, I want to do that. But I don't ever want to become that like, oh, well, you know what? Sorry, you guys, Backyard Battlefield, you're not as big as this guy, so I really want to have them on. Like, I don't ever want to do that. Because...
No, you don't have to worry about it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't ever want that to be the case where...
No, you're not that guy, punk.
No, I'm not. No. Unless you piss me off.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
You can.
Sergeant Red. So the ball's in the court of Sergeant Reds now, right? As far as the next phase of Toys for Tots getting their funds and their toys and all that.
Well, I guess the next phase is technically in my court to get the funds.
Okay, so what I was going to get at is, are you planning on, or could we ask Sergeant Reds and you to kind of collaborate on a little after the stream kind of video to show what went on in the background, and maybe we could consider that being a promo piece for the next one, like what happens after the stream-a-thon kind of stuff?
It's a good idea.
Are you talking about going into next year, or?
I'm just kind of saying, here, guys, here's what happened. You supplied these funds, and this is what happened. We took these funds to here. This is what it looked like. This is him talking to that guy. Here we are handing that over. It's all done. Look at all the toys going away. And then we plug that next year and we show it.
So I cannot confirm nor deny that on Sunday at Sergeant Red's, a big, giant check was purchased.
Son of a bee. You can't confirm or deny that.
It means he's still got to edit.
No,
it's law and order here.
We haven't done anything. I just went up there. I needed to get out of the house, and I chatted with them. I spoke to D for quite some time. We're going to do a video to when we present it. We just have to figure out how we want to do it. But I next year I definitely will. There'll be another, I want to do like commercials leading up to it.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like explain to people how it works and they want to get more involved.
Yeah. Shark Eyes says, I want to see you walk in the door of the shop with a giant novelty check that's bigger than you.
Does it have to be novelty?
Like Ed McMahon, Punk McMahon.
I think it's possible too, Punk. It would have been good to have like a short video that we participants could have put onto our channel.
Yeah, that was brought up by a couple people. I think Crow, I think you might have. I know Oz brought it up, and it's definitely one of those things where, I mean, I told you guys how nervous I was. Like, I wasn't nervous. I was just like, what if no one shows up? What if someone just decides to bail? I mean, it's easy to say no one would do that, but let's be honest. People do that shit all the time.
Well, some shit happens, but yeah, I mean, I didn't think that would have been a problem at all with the following and the guys in the community, and it's a good cause. No, man. But you never know what might happen. You know what I mean?
But you never know until the time. You know, you think you do, but
I don't think you don't know until that time comes. Like that. You know what I mean? Like nobody wanted to let you down like that. If we were unsure,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. If we were unsure if we could do it, we would have told you no, we can't do it.
I mean, I did it from work.
Yeah, man. You went and tried to save a life and came back.
But I picked people that I felt confident wouldn't do that. But you still never know. You know what I mean? Like I knew Tony was going to be there. And I knew you guys were going to be there. But you think but that one time, someone
mentality stresses you. Yeah, you overthink it.
And Matthew says, I've been coming up with ideas for a play motion commercial for next year.
There it is.
And the one thing I do want to have next year is probably at least three different moderators that I'll always have someone else with the stream. So if I need to walk away at any time.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, I'm the one that chose to do it for 36 hours, no one else. But the fact that Matthew and Ed were so gracious to do their part and give their time. But at the same time, like Matthew was completely filled that day. Ed, I think, had some other stuff too. So I want to make sure there's always someone on there where if I need to walk away, I can walk away.
You got lucky with your moderators, man, because I mean, Matt's always like, he's so deeply involved in either the chat or getting things going or fact checking or supplying links. And Ed is the most max flex relaxed guy you could have.
Yes.
Like, I got up in the morning and I checked Ed's cracking, man, and he's keeping it lively. And most people are just waking up, right? Like,
I had just gone to bed when you got on there, I think.
So quickly, True Star Screamer says, Happy Halloween. Glad to finally catch this show. Well, True Star Screamer, I got to say, this is not your typical show. Normally, it's just me and one other person, but again, disclosure, I did not want to set anything up for this week. I wanted to make it as easy, and this is really my easiest show, but it's the one I'm most proud of. But I'm glad you're here. Honestly, hopefully you'll be able to check in next week. I think I got Charlock on next week. But I don't know.
That ought to be a good one because
he was telling me that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got Charlock on. So I have all this month, and I gotta start coming up with December. I have two people that already said yes, but I didn't give dates yet. So this is usually the easiest. So Darren, what did you think? What did you think? Because you were on at the same time, and I know you only have a limited amount of time because you're like, I'm going to go up against Punk.
It was finally time.
He was waiting for that shit.
That's right. Is waiting for the opportunity to strike like Firefly. We got a little bit of time. So, I really enjoyed it. I think you did a really good job. Like I said, you had a lot of people on that you knew could be entertaining and give insight, people that you at least 99% sure weren't going to bail at the last minute. And it was a variety of people, a variety of topics. You had all kinds of different things on Saturday night before Clubhouse. I mean, you got Yojo Jerk and Just Jeff and Gaines on, which was kind of a wild card thing that I think a lot of people enjoyed.
And that came about just literally right before
out of chat. They were just in the chat. And he's like, hey, you guys want to come on? That worked out great. So, maybe there could even be some spontaneous things like that come up. But I think you did a really good job juggling the stuff and putting it together. Like has been stated already, I think maybe just try to tighten it up. Like you said, maybe try to find a relief moderator, especially for that afternoon segment when some people may be busy or whatever. And just try to just keep it going. I mean, just keep the same style, the same vibe, change up like what type of show is in what time slot. I think it went really well.
You heard it here first, Punk. Darren wants to be a mod for the next one.
No.
Well,
No.
I think I heard that too, Frostbite. I think I heard that shit.
I do think that I might have to ask this guy to take some couple of days off to be the temporary mod. I really didn't want. I didn't want to ask you to, and I know Matthew. Again, I don't want any of them to. I think I might have to next year just to.
I'm on my 4 days off right now. I just got to schedule it on those 4 days that I have off.
Well, I don't have a choice.
I know you don't.
We're all really at the mercy of YouTube and when they pay out. That was the biggest thing. So all this stuff, it didn't even dawn on me. Like we're right before Halloween. Then it landed on a Thursday. So I mean, there were all these little things that just didn't even, they didn't even dawn on me. I think everything worked out. But I definitely would like to keep 1 hour. I want to have like shows going 1 hour, 1 hour in between so there is that overlap. So people can jump on a little bit early, maybe kind of just have a crosstalk leading into the show. I did want to break it up. I really did want to break it up doing different things. I didn't expect it to be broken up nearly as much as it was. And what I mean by that is like the topics. And I thought it worked really well. And I hate to pat myself on the back, but I really thought it worked well. Like Frostbite and I had nothing to do with toy. I mean, I think we talked about at the beginning maybe, but we went like right because you jumped on early. We went right into it, and it was just these pictures. And
I was going for like an hour and a half early or something.
Yeah, Gridiron. That was a kind of a last minute throw in there. And he actually gave us a little bit longer than he planned. And then Tony was able to stick around. And then you guys came in with your stuff. Obviously, with Punks on Film, Matthew had all that set up. The wrestling stuff, probably the lowest viewed segment, which is actually kind of funny. But the people that were watching it were so into it. And everyone that I had on was great. Especially having Legend Series and Mr. Wonderful on, both who have wrestled. They had their insight. Obviously, Ted and Aaron. Aaron jumped on early because some stuff came up. I forget what made him want to jump on early.
Frostbite. This is an AAR, right? Point to sustain, point to improve, and then point to sustain. Lawrence, is your communication when you're organizing an event. We saw it for May, the Power of the Force. There's like this deadline where you are like, okay, it's time for everybody to put their chips on the table. You in or not? And then you update your communication. So I'm always looking for what is my boss's intent? Like, what does he want to accomplish here, right? And you are so clear with your intent. And if that intent is not going to get met, you're like timely with the problem so people can work on it. And that is something that I commend you for, because you don't find that just randomly. Especially, you don't expect to see it in a toy tubing stream, but you're very professional.
So when my ex left, I started skating again, and obviously there was a lot of scheduling with the kids, and my friends I was skating with, most of them were younger, other than my buddy Tony, and they didn't understand. Hey, I have young kids. I can skate on this day, but I need it scheduled in, and I know that's hard to do because, skateboarding a lot of time it's how I feel I'm going to go out there. But hey, we're going to go out between we're going to skate for we have like a 4-hour window, but I need to know, hey, Saturday, can you go? Please don't make other plans, right? Or Wednesday, are you going to go up to the park? It's Fossil night. Fossil night is 20 and over. What? Fossil was at 20. In my early 20s, that was the best I ever skated in my entire life. And you're calling it fossils. But I think that's a lot what led into it. And I didn't even think the power of the force. I guess I kind of was adamant about that. And I kind of got aggravated when some people didn't respond and shit.
No, but that's how things fail, right? If you're not communicating, then you can quickly find the single point of failure is you, right? But especially when you have stakeholders, people that you're trying to reflect professionally, you've got to be the guy on top of the communication. So I was kind of really impressed by. I was like, this reminds me of working with people in the military in cyberspace. Like, I sent you an email, you are expected to answer that email within 12 hours. And the guy not only does that, but he's seeing the right people. You know what I mean?
Like Crow saying, you were ticking all the military boxes off for me because you told me exactly what you wanted. You told me exactly what content you'd like to do. And it was content I'd already done. So there was no difficulty for me. I just had to redo content. And you told me the time. You gave me weeks' notice. When I said to you originally, I can't do that time, can I have another time? You just come straight back to me and said, how about this time? Does that work? And I went, mate, that's it. It was spot on. And that's why I was able to easily deliver you the content.
And that's one reason, you came back right away.
Yeah.
You came back right away after you said, oh, yeah, I can do that. And then I think it was the next day you said, hey, we have a concert we're going to. Can we do it? And I was not going to ask around that time because I thought that'd be an inconvenience to you. And you were like, dude, that's absolutely perfect.
That's part of the process.
And what's funny about that is that weekend when I did the Thursday with a friend with Ronnie Trickshot, he was like, well, we were trying to work out a time. And when he went to, what time he said, I go, well, he goes, well, 6 p.m. your time will work. I'm like, I can't. Can we do 7? He's like, oh man, I get to sleep in. Perfect. I'm like, most people don't want to wake up early to do something, especially for someone else. So it was awesome.
This isn't for someone else, Lawrence. These are we're all friends.
Yeah.
So when you guys are asking me to do something, or I come to say Darren or someone and say, hey bro, can we catch up? This is friends talking, not for someone else.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I appreciate that, but not everyone thinks like that. Matthew says, Punk, your preparation was really helpful and makes it easy. And that I wanted to make it as easy as possible. There was no way that I was going to start 2 weeks, a week before, even though that's how Top Fun Retro and Gridiron kind of came about. But that's why those gaps were left, in case in case I wasn't able to get someone else to fill it in. But there was no way. I wanted to give people preparation because I told you I wanted to do this last year. I didn't feel that I was big enough. I didn't feel that I was ready. But more than anything, I knew that I would need at least a few months to prepare for it. It's a mental fuck. That's the best way to put it.
The stressful drain. Yep,
yeah.
Afterwards.
I mean, I know how it is just trying to, we all know how it is just trying to come up with content for a weekly show or a bi-weekly show, and that's 2 or 3 hours, or give or take, and you're talking about 36 hours. So going back to what you just highlighted that Matthew said, same here, because that is how I like to do things. Plan it out. I probably stress over things. I like to have it down pat. I like to make sure everybody that's is in, knows what they're doing, knows what we're doing. So your tight rein over, hey, are you in? Are you out? Can you do it this time? What about this? That really made it go a lot smoother for everybody else that was involved. Was your organizational skills setting it up.
Yeah. And I thought that was like, again, it's this big 36 plus hours. You're asking people to do stuff. I asked these guys to come in at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I knew they didn't really care for it, but I also knew they're up late. Travis, Mr. Wonderful, was like all for it. He's all like, hell yeah, anytime. Like, yeah, wrestling. Oh yeah, I'm in there. But you're asking people to, jump on here, give me their time. I want to make it as easy as possible for someone, but I also want it to be as easy for me. Like, this is when we're doing it. I watched, Oz doing 24 hours and just like, hey, we're just gonna talk and shoot the shit. That only works for so long until you really start going, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? Are people really going to jump in? That's the biggest thing.
Check out G.I. Bros, Rich's comment.
This one? It was also because every time I jumped in, it was like watching a different show. And that is exactly why I put on different shows. That's why I didn't say, hey, we're having these same 15 people on just rotating, and we're going to continue to talk about whatever's happening. Like, I didn't want that.
Pump, can I point out something else? I think that was like probably the smartest thing you did the whole 36 hours.
If it makes me look smart, yes.
Yeah.
No, Crow, you can't. No.
Okay. Thanks.
just message it to him.
No, you took a nap. You took a friggin' nap, man.
Yeah, you got to rest, man. That's a long time.
Worst decisions a person can make is when they're getting sleep fucked and something goes wrong, and then they make the worst decision because they can't focus, man. That was brilliant. I was so proud of you to adapt and just go, fuck it, I gotta go to bed.
What up, Tone?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Welcome. Are you Skeletor or Macho Man today? So you're Macho Man.
It's more madness, more the Macho Man,
So what I have to say about taking a nap is that one of my inspirations of doing this is that one of the radio stations I used to listen to, they used to do a 36-hour stream on the radio, and they would have the different programs on the station also fill in, but they would always take a nap. They'd always bounce out for a little bit, take a nap to get rested. I'm almost 49. I already know I can't go 36 hours without passing out. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, I was feeling good. About 4, when Shark and Ronnie jumped on, I had to hit that. But Ronnie coming in with that bullhorn or whatever the thing that was like the loudest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
That damn hockey air horn.
Oh my God, that thing was so fucking loud. And if you went back and watched that, you'd be like, it's 4 a.m. for which one of these guys? Because they were wired. They want to seem slap happy, not me. And I was amped, but I knew that ending that, I was like, I could push it, but at what point do you know that your body's just going to crash? So it was like, hey, you know what? Let's just crash for a little bit. Ran out, got some McDonald's after I saw. The worst thing that I did was I went to change my alarm because I have one alarm set for when my daughter's not here, one alarm for when she is here, and then I have an alarm that I changed. Well, I changed it to wake up at 9:45, I think, except for I forgot to hit submit, so it went off at 6:45, and I fell asleep about 6:25. And boy, was I pissed when it went off.
I know the feeling. We talked about that when I caught up with you later in the day because I set 2 or 3. I usually set 3 during the work day, and if you got to change one for any reason, you're not used to changing it and hitting that save on it.
Yeah. And it was sitting there on my bed, like right next to me, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, but I woke up in a panic because I just hit that deep sleep because I was exhausted. Again, I've been up for 24 hours. I woke up at 6:30 or 6:30, drove Olivia to school, and I never went back to sleep. I planned to, but I was so hyped up.
I bet you're like a lot of us too. It's like when you get sleep deprived and you're that tired, the happier somebody is in the morning and you're dealing with them, the more pissed off and you hate them. Like, just wipe that smirk off the face, man.
And Shark Guy says, when you were rocking back and forth while standing, I knew you were feeling the strain. Okay, so honestly, if I'm standing, I'm always moving. So I'm not saying that didn't have something to do with it, but I'm always moving. And it was really weird to stand up because it's not like the desk lifts. It's a whole separate computer that I had. Then I had to have this mic on, so I had to have the other screen on just so I could talk into this mic rather than a shitty one. But yeah, I think it was all really. It was, I don't know. I became very entertained, and Matthew's like, he's like, I didn't realize there were that many G.I. Joes. You didn't know who they were. I'm like, man, 89 came and I was a skateboarder. I didn't care. And when I look back at a lot of those G.I. Joes, I still don't care about them. I know that
there were some very forgettable ones through that period for people our age.
And I know Chad used to do that show Neon at Night, and I couldn't be more disinterested in that era of G.I. Joe. I'm not saying there were no good figures made, but for the most part, it's just like, out of it. Well, that looks like shit. I mean, that looks like a lot of those figures.
What happened to G.I. Joe?
Yeah, Legend series. Well, a lot of those figures are in that era. They look like Coco Beware.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the neon shit.
The bird.
I was out after. I like sci-fi too. I like sci-fi, but then Fast Draw.
But I don't think crazy
ones like.
I never thought sci-fi was like that. You know,
wasn't the early '90s like that though? In the early '90s, it was all like neon colors, very bright and vibrant. It was everything. It was all.
You have to think like my time of playing with G.I. Joe was through the '80s. Then I went into skateboarding.
I think of G.I. Joe in that era when I go through a carnival and I see all that neon, like all the stands. I'm like, it's the 80s, man.
It was neon and teal, like the teal Pistons. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the teal. Teal was
everyone. Every NBA team had a teal, other than like the Bulls, probably the Knicks. But everyone that didn't have, I don't want to say didn't have history because the Pistons were the bad boys, and you're like, hey, let's get rid of this awesome red, white, and blue and go with some teal horses' heads. I'm like, I never thought of Pistons as the horse. I always thought of them as pistons for a car, not a horse.
Yeah. Pistons for a car, yeah.
And everything got bigger as we went. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so this Tony down here below me. So you were on for a short bit to talk wrestling.
Yeah.
What did you think? You were still under the weather at that time, weren't you?
Yeah, I was still dealing with that whole vocal cord thing.
So thank you, because you and Travis started,
Yeah.
You were wrestling.
You can always tell another worker. I can always sense them. You sense them in the room, like like an alcoholic in an AA meeting. They can sense the other ones.
That's more like it.
Yeah, if someone was a skateboarder, I'm gonna find a way to start talking to them.
Yeah. So it was very easy to talk to, and Aaron and Ted was easy to talk to as well. Although Ted seemed like he was more enjoying the conversation than anything else. Because my issue is, especially, I'm not gonna lie to you, I smoked a little weed before I came on, so I was kind of floating and so I just kind of I just ramble and don't realize that I was talking a little too much. I felt like I was talking too much. If I had to apologize for anything, that would probably be it. I'm sorry.
I don't think so, because you were continuing the conversation, and I don't think you ever really tried to overtalk anyone.
Oh no, never. Yeah,
there's a lot of people that will overtalk, like I just overtalked you.
It's not hard to do,
asshole.
No,
there's a lot of people that they'll overtalk.
Yeah,
and I see these people on streams. I've been on streams with some of these people. Some of these people will be like, "Hey, I want to be on Thursday with a friend." I'm thinking, "Yeah, no, never. Not going to happen." All right, this is my enjoyment. I know eventually I'm going to have a dud, but I'm not going to pick one that I know is going to be a dud.
This is my special.
You're fine, arm's length, and we'll leave you there, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think you overtalked anyone at all. You had a lot to say.
Yeah, I also do regret missing when Jeff shaved his head. I came into that late.
I missed that one.
Yeah, I'd come home and I turned it on, and I was like, "What the fuck? Why is Jeff bald?" I was like, "He just sent me a picture this morning. He had hair." I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah,
he did it on the damn stream.
Punk, I told you I'd do that, but we shut that down. So I'm glad somebody did that. I got to keep on this.
So
it was kind of spontaneous. I think he had that idea when he went on.
Yeah. Well, so
Olivia even watched him.
Yeah, Olivia was all for it. Like I actually made him wait till she got done taking a shower because she was so excited to watch someone shave their head, which just happened to be at the exact same time that.
Do it anyway.
Well, John from Sergeant Rez had donated 50 Punk memberships, and when he had done 10, she had said, "Welcome to the Creamery" 10 times in a row. She wasn't going to do 50. I said, "You don't have to do 50. You got to do at least one." And then she's sitting there watching, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of him shaving his head, she starts doing it 50 times. 50 times.
And she made it to probably at least in the high 20s before she started jumbling the words.
Yeah.
I should have seen that. That'd have been hilarious. I would have dogged her.
Jeff, I said to Jeff when he said, "Hey, if we get $100 in super chats, I will shave my head." And right away we got some.
Like 10 minutes.
That's sick.
I'll tell you, man, I have never been so invested in the word creamery before. I was like watching how she would say it every time. Like, how's she going to do it this? Oh, she's defeated. Oh, she loves it.
But I had said to Jeff, I go, "You want to shave your head, don't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, pretty much." So you already had plans to do this, but hey, you know what? It doesn't matter.
He wanted to be like the homies. He wanted to be like
for real.
It generated money for kids. And
also created a great moment on your stream, like that like, as I mean, it's fantastic that you guys raised that much money in that little short period of time, but now you have a great fucking story to tell for the whole year until the next 36-hour stream. That's awesome.
And if you chop any of it up for next year to do commercials, definitely could look at the crazy shit that might happen. You never know what's going to happen on here.
Yeah,
all for the kids.
See, those are the types of things I have to think about. But again, the reason why I worked, well, first off, I had never met Jeff. I had seen him on streams before, but we had chatted just a little bit, and he'd been in the stream. And with anyone that comes over, and I'm not sure exactly how they're associated, and that sounds so off. I hate to say that we have to talk. You always have to be on your guard.
Oh, right? Trust me, I know now.
Yeah, so I know that there's a lot of people that don't like me, and when people come over that are associated with people that don't like, you got to be on your guard to know. All right. Yeah. And I don't even need to say it because Matthew's in every stream, so he knows exactly who's who. And Ed is the same way. And I have to say, for the most part, I don't think we've really had anyone that's come over to try and be some little spy for other people, not on a long-term basis. I think people come over on my Mondays, they see what a shit show it is, They're like, somehow this guy entertains me. I don't know. And it's awesome, you know.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, Punk. Sorry. Speaking of surprise for other people, I think it's time I have to go to get ready for the other thing, and my kids just got home, so I just want to say goodbye to everybody.
okay, well,
Take it easy, buddy.
Darren, are you gonna bounce?
Here in just a second, I am. So I'm
is
gonna
your
hang out for
stream.
just a minute. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
Damn.
be.
But the one thing I do want to say about like shaving the head, it would not have worked if I would have grown my hair out a little bit and said, "Hey, if we make this, I'll shave my head," or if Tony grew his hair out, because we already shave our head. It's nothing new.
Yeah,
But shaving that Mobro, that would have raised some money.
Which one? This? Like, man, you guys. Well, John from Sergeant Reds, he wanted me to, and I'm like, dude, you guys, like, you don't want to see the 12-year-old that I turn into. When
but
I don't.
We do, Punk.
Yeah. Why do you see me? I look like a young potato.
I've done that before when I've taken this off because of work. Yeah.
Matthew says he got connected with the group because I met him in person at DFW, and we knew we are in the same area.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Jeff. Yeah, I think he's talking about Jeff.
Yeah. Which again, I'm glad, because I'll say this.
I think I met him.
So I'm done streaming. Just because I may not like people, I don't expect other people to, and I hope people feel the same way about me. You know, we're all not going to get along. You're allowed to not like people on the playground, and your friends are allowed to like the people you don't like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. So, but you always have to be cautious. You always have to be cautious. But him coming on, and that was so spontaneous. Him and Jerk and Gaines all coming on, and
that was a shocker.
Was it? I think I was the bridge. I think I was the bridge to that. Somebody said that in the chat.
Yeah.
Tony's the bridge to this.
I saw that and I was like, what the fuck?
They came over to watch our stream with me and KJ.
Oh, okay.
In the midst of it, he was Jerk and Gaines came to watch me and KJ. We were customizing some shit with Larry, and then after a while, I'm like, I was thinking it, and Larry just said, "Hey, you guys ain't doing anything? Come." I'm like,
that's awesome, man.
You know,
yeah.
And then Gaines
I really
heard that.
enjoyed that part.
Yeah.
Just having, because I quite like Jerk's material, his content, and just, you know, I love your stuff, Punk, and just having you two on the same stream, it was really quite fascinating.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's always interesting to see how two creators are going to interact and how their chemistry is going to be. Because you never know. I'm obviously very loud and outspoken. Jerk is extremely loud. I don't know if
crazy.
I don't know if he's outspoken, but he's very loud.
It's crazy enough.
Yeah, so you never know. I look at Gaines, and he seems more laid back.
Oh, he's cool, yeah.
And I could be wrong.
I mean this in the most loving way. When it comes to Gaines, he's a meathead.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, in the most loving way, though, because I love
Angelo is a meathead. Yeah. I get along with that fool so much.
Yes, I was listening during that segment. I was listening to it all, and I had it on the TV. I was listening to YouTube app on my PlayStation and doing some pictures, and I actually walked over and actually turned it down a little bit when Punk and Jerk were both on. I'm like, I gotta click it down just a little bit. This is getting loud.
we're at a 12. We're gonna go down to a 6.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Jerk is that even though he's loud, he does not come off abrasive like you would think after watching his reviews. When you watch, like when he's on his live, I don't get the feeling. Even when I had him on, he didn't come off as that like very abrasive. He's just loud. That's his voice. It's the way he does things. So his persona on the reviews doesn't fully translate to being that exact same thing on his lives. Yeah, I still think he's himself, but
I attribute to a wrestling gimmick. So he basically is like when he does those videos, he's in gimmick, and then on stream, he's just kind of like himself, which is just like a laid back, down to earth dude who just wants to talk about toys.
Yeah.
Even when I was on the Mega Power stuff, man, like that's what I was expecting. I was expecting like that like larger than like how he presents himself on the reviews, and he was just so the opposite. And I was like, oh wow, this he's actually chill ass dude. Yeah, I didn't realize it. And
yeah,
you kind of like meet him, and you're like,
a lot of you guys, which is just genuine.
Yeah.
What like genuine's the perfect word for a lot of you guys.
I could see that, by the way.
Thanks, yeah.
So
yes.
Could he be the next Affleck? Affleck stuff?
Yes, that's funny. I'm gonna take this break and I'm gonna get out of here, guys.
All right, Darren.
Darren, thank you. And if anyone wants to jump over there and watch his Halloween stream, be my guest. You can always come back and watch this on the replay or vice versa.
I'll be finishing this tomorrow, but yeah, not gonna come on and promote. Just
no, please do.
A Halloween stream. Not talking any toys. We're talking about horror movies and ghost stuff. So when Punk is done, we'll still be going.
Let me just say something. You said we won't be talking toys, which means when people go over, they're going to be like, they will ask every toy question and wonder why you're not answering it.
Probably, and we'll probably answer and get sidetracked anyway. So. But thanks for having me on. Good seeing you, fellas.
Darren.
Punk, you did a great job, and can't wait until next year.
Bro.
I can wait. I can wait. Like,
hey, real quick, I want to say something. I just caught her in the chat. Dominique, she went trick or treating. Tony,
she did. She came home from work early, and then like her friend wanted to go, and she asked me to go, and I kind of laughed in the face. Like, I'm not going trick or treating. I'm 41. I'm 42. I'm not going out and do it. But
you party pooper.
Yeah, I really was, and I felt so bad for that. And I was just like, all right, hold on. I think I might still have some cool shit in the cosplay in the cosplay chest or whatever. And I went in there and I found that Raven costume that she had.
Oh wow! Hell yeah!
Yeah, she took pictures, and then I just took her to her. I mean, I haven't seen a place like this in years. Like all these, like where they had like so many people out trick or treating. And then she was telling me that there was lines at people's houses for candy. Since I'm a kid, I haven't seen it like that because around here it's dead. Nobody goes trick or treating here. So I just, so just to see how happy she was, it was nice. I put a smile on her face. So I'm very happy, man. Yeah.
The last few years that we took the kids out, it's just and we went to my old neighborhood, which is a whole condo. I mean, huge community.
Yeah.
And that's why we used to go there. Condos, and then a big, huge condo sub, and then next to that is a, they're like condos. They're not townhouses, co-ops.
Okay.
And you just, I mean, you couldn't, if there was 3 houses that in a row that didn't do it, you were shocked back then. Yeah. We were walking down through courts, it'd be like 5 people, and it was like, you'd come here because you'd get so much, and it had just started to die. In my neighborhood, there's no lights on, nothing
in my neighborhood neither. That's why when I dropped her off, I mean, grown adults, like I thought she was going to be a silly ass. I was like, you're a fucking adult. You're going to be trick-or-treating. And she's like, that's fine. I was like, all right. And we pull up and I'm seeing all these grown ass people walk down the street getting candy. I'm like, all right, looks like you're going to fit right in, pal.
Well, we do that around here sometimes. And the adults that are outside, with the spooky shit for the kids, they have an ice chest like full of beers and stuff and all that stuff
awesome.
For the adults that come and walking their kids around. Yeah, I get faded walking my kid around.
Yeah, for real.
At least I'm not driving. Oh shit!
I do have to I have to make sure that I don't do this on Thanksgiving, or not on Thanksgiving, on Halloween, because that means I'd have to push it up because. There's so many people that have kids and want to go to their parties and everything. And
yeah.
Even though a lot of us are like well out of that.
Yeah. She, you know what it was? She asked me, she's like, how come you don't want to do this Halloween thing? And I'm like, man, I did all that cosplay bullshit already. Like once you slave over a costume for like 3 weeks, you never want to make a costume again. Like never again. So I just was like, Halloween kind of went out the window. When I started doing cosplay, for me at least.
And here she is. I'm going to let you read it because she's your wife.
Oh, so many adults have their own parties next to the people that have that handing out the candy.
Yeah,
like they were having like,
neighborhood right here.
He said it was like this giant. Like her friend couldn't believe the amount of people that were fucking there. So like, it's nice to see that some neighborhoods still do it.
Yeah,
because the one over around here, it's non-existent. Yeah.
So it is usually my temperature is like right here, but of course it's not right now. It was in the 70s today.
It was 81 here.
Was it 71?
It was 81.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We hit like 73 today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. All I know is that when we took the kids out, I'm pretty sure it was always about 45 degrees and rainy, usually on its side, just whipping at you. And of course, like, you don't want to be there. And, you know, my daughter was like, well, mom was the one that always wanted to stop. I was like, yeah, we did. But you kids wanted to bow out really quickly, too. Because it's miserable in Michigan. Like, when it's like that, it's totally miserable. Like, anytime you get anytime as a kid that you would wear an outfit, a costume where it's supposed to be something in shorts or whatever, you had to put a jacket over it. Like, well,
yeah, no, you had to dress real warm. At least in when I was trick or treating, you had to make sure you were warm. Today, she got in the car. She's like, turn the goddamn AC on. First off, it's the first time I've ever heard her say that to me. Damn. I was like, holy shit. I was like, is it hot out? I just turned the air conditioner off because I was in the car freezing. So I turned the thing off. And then I'm fucking sweating. I was like, okay, goddamn.
I love that.
It's like 68 out here right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like muggy out.
Oh,
like, it's still hot outside. Yeah.
Yeah, it's windy here.
It's nice out here right now.
It's supposed to be like highs like 53 tomorrow. So it's about to drop. But yeah, temperature's about, but we have the windows open. Olivia's like, it's hot out here. I'm like, yeah, no.
When it's below 70 outside right here, oh, it's beautiful.
So Tony, you were you were the second person that came on, and you were on a lot too. So what did you think? What do you think your experience was with it?
It was fun. It was fun. I was wondering how's he gonna do this? How's he gonna last or whatever? Because I'm on 24-hour shift. I can always, this is weird. I can check in when I'm up after a call or something because you're gonna be on. You know what I mean? I'm like, I might not go on, but I'll watch and see what's up. At least as long as my partner, he likes to stay out in the truck, and he even when we're in our station, because he'll get on the phone with his wife and they'll just chat it up, and I'll be inside on fucking YouTube messing around in the chats and everything. But no, it was awesome, dude. I liked it. To me, for your first time doing something like this, you rocked it, bro. You killed it. And I'm like, I didn't get a chance to see the lulls, and I was real happy when I don't know if I was expecting to get, not kicked out, but like me and Darren to take off when Top Fun Toys came in, and he was doing all his 3D printed weapons and stuff. And I'm like, maybe he's keeping us in because this is right up our alley or something, or I'm digging, this stuff. And it went really smooth. And the times I could watch when I wasn't on or able to come on, and all the shows, you kept it, not just like you said earlier, friends coming in to hang out and talk shit and bullshit with you. No, they brought their show with them. Like, it wasn't just me and KJ bringing Terradrome to you. It was Frostbite and his stuff. And then it was, 3-Star and Castillo Crow bringing their stuff. And we're bringing their show to this so we can have a show about it and make it last. And that was cool, man. To me, I don't know if there was any hiccups, I didn't notice. You know what I mean? So,
and like I said, that was my whole idea. For you guys to bring your shows, showcase it off here, because hopefully we're gonna have a lot of eyes on here because it's for charity. And I was really surprised at how well it turned out, like how well it translated. There were some things where I think during the segment with you and KJ, and also the segment with Allison, where if I'm trying to paint you guys, like, it was something, you're not watching the chat. And obviously with Allison, when I was trying to color, it was the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes away from it because I'm looking up here and I'm trying to color for a second, but the moment you take your eyes off it, and then some people may not realize what you're doing, that when they're tuning into it.
Right. That's why I have this camera on the workspace right here so they can see me painting or cutting something or doing something. me and KJ ran into that too in these early Terrordrome things. We're still new at that, with us on one show doing it. So, I mean, Tony does it. His diorama stuff. And he's got to pay attention to the chat. Sometimes Dominique helps him out, but he'll be looking back and forth, and I'll be looking at him scoring. The board he's working on, and when you were making all the bricks, Tone.
Oh yeah,
and all that. Yeah, and I'm like, damn, I'm not paying attention. Sometimes I'll look up. I don't want to cut myself or nothing. But then me and KJ on the sidebar will be like, we'll try to I'll be working. You see me working and talking, and he'll be just talking and paying attention to the chat and interacting with the chat and all that stuff. And then he'll switch and do his customizing work. We'll just switch roles. Because there's just two of us, and maybe you get a moderator, something like that. That's
why I think you guys need an on-air moderator who isn't doing any customizing while you guys are doing it. That could say, hey, you know what? Well, Matthew Matson is asking about this, and then you guys because it is too hard. It's one thing when you're coloring, but when you're trying to put stuff in place, the last thing you're going to do is that you want to look up, especially if you're using sharp stuff or heating something up, painting something. You don't want to be looking up and get paint all over or screw something up. So that's why I think you guys need an on-screen moderator who might be asking the questions that people are wondering.
This can turn into your enemy. This can turn when you look up, look at Tony. Watch out,
if you guys saw Olivia use the razor to open the package.
Oh, I saw that. Fucking scared the shit out of me.
Blood. Oh
no. That was.
I learned to stop. Look at the chat. Okay, stop. Look at the chat.
I just tell them, man. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go over here and work for a second. So if I don't look at the chat,
you do it easy.
Right? And the good thing about most of these guys is they just tend to kind of talk to themselves.
We do. Yes. We do.
So you don't have to really worry about it. And a lot of the time you just kind of scrolling through just to see, and you notice, oh, these motherfuckers are talking to each other. All right.
That's how my mom.
When you have Fox in there, she'll throw the chat up or
you're
pretty good at looking up sometimes, and these motherfuckers are talking to each other.
So that's how Monday became when Matthew was like, you need to stop reading the chat. And he's like, I don't mean stop reading it, but you'll read something and it'll be part of a conversation, and next thing you know, you're trying to figure out what they're trying to talk about.
Yeah.
You need to
and chats keep going.
So I've learned that normally when I read something that I shouldn't have, just kind of ignore it. But who handles it really well while creating something is Radnom. Random diorama.
He does, man, because that's all he's doing by himself.
Really good job. Yeah.
But you know what? He uses OBS.
Yes.
So he's just kind of he just kind of nods, because I watch him every Friday. He's always learning something from him. So he always just kind of takes a minute. I notice he works on something for a few minutes and then he stops. That's where I learned it from. He just stops and then he looks up, just kind of glances just to see what is going on. He gets a general idea of what's being said, and then he'll just kind of answer random questions that he sees.
I'll be watching and he'll be like this, and then
it's dead on.
and Ed is his moderator too. So Ed does such a wonderful job. He's very, he's even keel with stuff. Because you don't want a moderator that's overzealous, that wants to kick everyone out. And so Matthew was the moderator for the longest time, and when I finally got to the point where I'm like, hey, I think it's time to add one. And even before we had talked about it, I said, when you think it's time to add a moderator, let me know, because we got to discuss it. But I think Ed would be the perfect. And he's like, that's who I was gonna mention.
I think that's where Matthew's always the OG mod guy, though, because he's not overly emotional like some of us. Yeah. He's just straight down the line.
At times he can get a little emotional.
Like he's really good at that kind of position.
I am a learned doctor. What are you talking about?
I noticed that's a whole responsibility within itself, man. So when some of these guys decide to take that little wrench, Like you don't realize kind of like the shit they have to deal with because they're taking care of it before it even gets to you.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, because Just Jeff is my moderator, and because one night we were on here on the pre-roll just shooting the shit, and somebody went on there and said some outlandish shit, and
Really?
then he messaged me as soon as because I had to end the stream because of it, and then he was like, "Yo, man, you're gonna need somebody to kind of monitor that shit," and I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "All right," and then he was like, "Yeah." So then he took it, and then Mython the Python graciously said, "I'll watch you too." So at least somebody will always be in the room.
Yeah.
When someone's not there. And I was like, "All right, thank you guys."
You don't realize that you need a moderator till it's in a point that you
Some
need
shit
one,
happens.
and you don't have.
Yeah.
To what kind of mood we have those porn bots coming in left and right. I'm like, hey, we made it. We got porn bots.
I think we only got that like one time.
Right?
Because the Full Force used to get them all the time.
Oh,
That's
really?
funny.
Yeah. Naked HD. And it was always when Patrick wasn't on. So the running joke became that Patrick was Naked HD. Because anytime that he was on, they didn't show up. But when he wasn't on, so everyone just said like, dude, Patrick is
crazy.
Naked HD.
It's crazy when Clark when Clark is here, Superman is not.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, it didn't matter how many times Chris McLeod blocked them, they would come right back. So that became the running joke.
That near diagnostic AT.
It looks like your wife will.
That's another reason why they don't come knocking in my.
That's right, baby. Definitely.
Listen, I found myself a crazy Dominican woman. Nobody. I love that woman, but she will kill somebody.
What's up, Gun Bunny?
Be that person.
All my cousins are Mexican Italian, so.
Oh, so you know about the crazy.
Fucking porn bot.
Yes, and we have what
sort of toll doing this took on your body?
Sunday I walked around like a zombie.
Dude, you stood. When you stood up on one of them, I was like, he's standing up. Oh, shit, he's tired.
I was watching the clubhouse, and you literally were like, "Guys, I'm out."
Yeah. Well, once midnight hit, I'm like, this is how long I said I had to go. But now everyone seemed they were just really mellow, and then we kind of started talking about this in general.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have everyone's idea of how they felt it went or whatever. But I wanted to come back and do this. Just everyone has a few days to look back at it. It was exhausting. I told Tony on Monday, because I took Monday off, which was a good thing. I said there's the Joe Fest hangover. There was the Streamathon hangover.
I can imagine.
Because we're not young anymore. Like we're not. You wake up and I wasn't tired. I was exhausted.
You wake up and you're fitty.
Yeah, but like walking around, like going into Ollie's and stuff like that. I didn't go grocery shopping this week, but it didn't help that my dad was out of town. So someone needs to watch his dog. My son was over there on the weekends. I've been running back and forth Monday through till this morning. Now my son's back over there for the weekend. So I've been running back and forth there, driving. Oh, and then my ex, her back was acting up. So I've kept Olivia. I'm driving her to school in the morning.
Oh, shit.
So I haven't had a break. And that's why. And then I also got, the G.I. Joes in. So I want to get the reviews out. I had all the stuff leading up to it. So I think there was so much that led up to it where maybe if there was, I'd done like maybe a couple reviews, not 8 fucking Operation Monster Force reviews. and then let's add on Tuesday when someone gave me a false copyright strike. And I'll get into that on Monday.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Like, what?
So that happened again to you?
No, this was on YouTube.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
not IG.
Yeah.
No, not on Instagram. This is on YouTube. And I still got to do some more stuff to fight it.
Yeah.
Again, just total bullshit. And the worst thing is, just a little bit into it, I spoke to the owner of Operation Monster Force, Bill Murphy, and he's like, never heard of this person.
He went to the source, baby.
Yeah. If you look on Instagram, you'll see the actual copyright strike and the name that they gave, and they're like, never heard of this guy.
Oh wow.
It's just wasting my time is what people are doing.
Yeah.
You see Mr. Mad Gus's comment, Larry?
Yeah, I'm not reading that.
Why?
You want to
I'll
read
read
it
right now.
All right.
I've been sexually harassed so many times in Legends Room. He painting the wall, and Tony's face would not leave me alone.
We have a good time on my streams, don't we?
Yeah. So for me, it took a toll on my body.
I can bet. Yeah. Now, here's the question: Would you, for next year, are you going to block it out to where you have like time to sleep better?
No, I was actually happy. The 2 hours of sleep was perfectly fine. The two
so
and a
you
half
go
hours
to
of
sleep.
sleep.
All right.
Yeah. I would try not to have to drive my daughter to school that day, so that I could have slept till probably like 10 and woke up. Rather than wake like that definitely would have helped.
Okay.
And then you're not a coffee drinker, and you're not an energy drink drinker.
Yeah, I've never had an energy drink. I don't like coffee.
So you were just going off fumes.
Yeah, I mean, I have my
I'd been like Red Bull, coffee.
So no, I don't think I would do anything different. I'd probably take the same, probably 2 hour nap.
Yeah. Okay.
And I could have pushed through before I took the nap, but I knew that it probably would have hit me really hard, and maybe at a time when I didn't have someone on that could jump on and help. Because Matthew was busy, and so was Ed for big portions of the day. So we had kind of worked it out that Ed and Oz were going to jump on for Clubhouse Coffee at 6. So that was like the perfect time, kind of wrap it up, talking to them, let them take it over. And then when I jumped back on, it was, we had gotten a bunch of super chats, and it was like I never left. And I asked them, I go, if I take off for 2 hours and sleep or whatever, it still counts as 36 hours. And they're like, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I just want to make
sure. Was Allison on right after that?
She came on at 11, but she was still getting, it was right after that, but it was 11. And so it just kind of, once she was ready. But I have to say thank you to Allison, because she's in the middle of moving.
So that's 6 hours away.
Yeah, 6 hours away. So she said, whatever I do, I will make sure wherever I'm, like, whatever time it is, I will make sure that I'm at whatever house has the internet.
It was on it.
So I can do this.
That's awesome.
And I can't thank her enough.
Punk, I didn't see that session. How did you go with doing coloring in tired?
You were sleepy. You were tired, and you're coloring like a madman.
I colored fine. Where's it at? It's somewhere over here.
Is this going to be one of these things where he's like, I did a great job, and then he shows you and it's just wonky coloring everywhere?
Yeah, sure you did, little guy. You did a great job.
I haven't finished it yet. Although I don't know where it's at.
She did, little guy.
No worries, champ.
It probably wasn't even coloring a picture. It was just like his finger moving on the desk or something.
No worries, hero.
Look at that.
So precious.
Look at that amazing coloring.
Oh, isn't that nice?
You color really light. You have a light touch, huh? You have a really light colory touch. I'm like heavy-handed with it. Yeah. So it looks really light to me.
Well, yeah, you don't want to do it too hard, because then it comes out too dark.
Press down on it. Looks like a melted candle.
I think Clint Jorgensen's got the right comment there.
Hey, you know what? There's no room for it on my dad's fridge, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I have the two other pictures that I colored with Allison too. I keep everything. I have issues. I have to clean my house this weekend, and it's like you don't realize how much you neglect over the
36 hours.
Yeah, well, that like I said, all all that Monster Force stuff coming in at that time was like just awful.
All 8 figs, huh?
Yeah, and that's why I
Yeah,
didn't. That's why I didn't go to CMD store and order the GI Joes right away, because I'm like, I already have this stuff. I had all the stuff from Top Fun. I still have the stuff from Gridiron that I have to review. I have these 3 ghillie suits that I want to compare. Haven't gotten to that. Matthew's going to start yelling at me soon because he wants it back probably. So it's like there's all this shit to
you get
do.
Shit back, Matthew.
You know, but I realized I'm off on Sunday and Monday. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna do this stuff, and then I'm like, I don't want to do shit.
I'm off till Sunday.
And I think most people. And it was funny because I had, I think it was Stanley Everhart. Like we'd be on the stream and he's like, "Full Force is going live right now." I'm like, "What? What am I supposed to do? Like, I can't go watch it, you know? Like, so and so's going live. All right, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm kind of stuck here."
Yeah.
But I went ahead another way. I mean, I had a blast, and I told Tony, like, you know, it's if you go to Joe Fest next year, and I plan on going to Joe Fest, and Legend, I hope you do, and Frost, but I would love if you could make it across the pond. But that's that's harder than getting from New York to there, or from Detroit.
Harder from getting from Ireland to there,
yeah.
That's about $10,000 later.
That's
just for me.
Jesus.
Oh my god! I think my ball just went up. In my
For real.
But see, the thing that's so awesome about Joe Fest is that the convention is in the same hotel that most people are staying in, and they don't care how long you stay in that lobby, and they don't care how loud you are, because I don't think there's anyone else coming in there.
Yeah.
So they just let you. I mean, I was there with Highly Articulated and God, I forget who else.
Adam was there. I was there. The Murphys were there.
But no, we were down to like 3:30 in the morning. We were the last people.
And you don't even drink. I was.
Yeah. So the biggest
tossing them back.
Yeah. So the worst thing that you have to do is walk back to the hotel, right?
Stumble back to your room.
Yeah. So for something like this, even though I was the only one on 20 for the 36 hours, that's what it was like. It was like Joe Fest, other than you're not there in person.
Okay.
You know, because people could just, everyone could just kind of show up. I knew I didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
It's not like I was like, I gotta go grocery shopping in the morning. Gotta hit the gym. Like, I'm not going anywhere. And I planned Sunday, like, I'm gonna try and go grocery shopping, but if I don't, I'll go Monday. I didn't even go fucking Monday.
Well, the one thing that impressed me very much was the everybody was so willing to volunteer quick. Like as soon as they saw that you did this thing, it seemed to me that everybody was like, "Hey man, whatever you need, we're in. Like we'll help you out. Whatever you need, time slot filled, whatever, just to get you through the 36 hours." And to me, I keep saying this about this like community, man. That's a testament to most of these people because they always got your back, no matter what. Like even if you just knew, because I'm relatively new, and you graciously let me come on and talk wrestling with other guys that had the slot before me, and they were all like, yeah, bring them on, So it was just the fact that everybody's willing to share and help and give their time and volunteer, man. That this, like I said, if it's one good thing you take away from this community, brother, it'd be that. Like no, you were in, like you said, 36 hours, and everybody answered the call. Like that was cool to see, man.
And I easily could have had other people on and more people on that I think would have. So yeah, I don't think there was a big, even though I was worried more. And again, I think you know what it's like. You're just worried because what if I'm filling up 36 hours, and what if 2 shows just decide that they're not going to show up, or they forget about it because it's not that important to them.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, this is very important. This is why I'm asking you 4 months out. So when Lenny comes back and goes, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, we have a concert that night. Can we change the time?" Yep. Because I've asked you to do it, and I'm tentatively sliding everything in. But once I start sliding it in, I'm not like I don't want to change it.
Yeah.
Like that that's the big thing. Next year there will be no change. Like once it's in and other people have started to say this is it, like that's it. If you tell me, oh, can we change the time? I can't do it. I'm saying don't even bother.
Yeah.
Because I'll go and find someone else, or I'll fucking go on for 4 hours by myself. I don't want to do that again. Because yes, this is for my stream, but it's also for something more important.
That's what I was like. So I was saying, man, you came up with a cause, and instead of people like, like you just said, like it's not that important. People were like, no, I'll beat it. What time you need me? And everybody showed up. Because even Ted hit me up Sunday afternoon. He was like, are you going to be on, I'm sorry, Friday afternoon. You're going to be on Punk's thing at 1 a.m., right? I was like, yeah. I was like, if that's cool. I was like, I hope I'm not stepping on your toes. And he's like, no, please. I'm so worried about these guys not waking up that I'm just glad that you got somebody. I was like, yeah, I got you, but don't worry, man.
and like, those are the hours because let's be honest, 7 o'clock, like 7 p.m., you find someone.
Yeah.
Right? You know, if for some odd reason Aaron, Darren, and Crow, it's so weird to say. Like,
you really need to make a friend called Karen so you can have Aaron, Darren, and Karen. All in the
Daryl, my brother Daryl, my other brher Daryl.
Aaron,
Darren, Karen show.
But like 7 p.m. I can get someone. 10 p.m. I can get someone. 1 a.m. 3 stars. I heard that. You know, you get to 1 a.m. You start pushing it, right?
Yeah.
You probably still find someone because I'm on the East Coast. So let's be honest. People in California, it's still fairly early for them. You hit 4 a.m. Now, you know, again, that was the whole purpose of asking, you know, Shark Eyes and Ronnie to come on.
Yeah.
It fit with them for a better time. It's hard to ask someone, hey, you want to come in at 4 a.m.? First off, they're like, so you only want me for 4 a.m.? Like, you don't think I'm good enough to be on when people are awake?
Yeah. See, that's the funny thing too. If you said to me, "Yo, Tony, I need you to come on at 4 a.m.," I would be like, for real? I'm in. Because now I'm thinking in my head, like, I can do whatever I want because no one's going to be watching.
Mr. Madgus says, the great thing is you had plenty of people that were willing to go longer or fill in last minute.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? Going into next year, you have more confidence. Like, okay, you know what? I had so many people.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you have to understand you may turn some people away too. You know, and that's why I try and ask, you know, you want to get out ahead of it and ask people. And again, you don't want to be rude and be like, hey, you know, no, I don't really want you, or no, I don't need you. But you do want to find a way to kind of fill, you know, the whole point was really to have that hour gap to have people come in.
Yeah.
But for my biggest, I think it worked out better because everyone that was on, I was extremely comfortable with. And I'm not saying there's not other people I'm not comfortable with, but I can fucking tell Tony, you need to get the fuck out of here, all right? And he's not going to get offended by it, right? So,
fuck y'all. Fucking bitch.
You know, there are certain people, and I think most of the people, to their credit, they saw that it was time, that their time was up.
Yeah.
And the other person was here, and they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to bounce. Thank you. You know, Lenny's the perfect example. He's like, hey, you know what? See, my time is up. And I didn't really actually, Lenny, you bounced while I bolted to, I think, just get away. And I came back, Lenny's gone. And I'm like, thank God he's gone.
I literally felt like you could feel it. It was at 3 a.m. because I'd come on at 12:30, and right around 3 a.m. you could just feel the wrestling talk was dying down. You're like, all right, this is the lull. I think it's time to.
You and Travis.
Yeah. Dude, when he said he was a Giant fan too, I was like, "Oh, bro, you know about misery. All right, so we can get along just fine."
Don't even give me. You guys have 2 Super Bowls in the past 15 years?
I understand that, but right now New York sports is a laughing stock. It's just pathetic. I mean,
them Yankees, man.
Dude, listen, that's hilarious.
Yeah, 'cause you're a Mets guy.
Fuck the Yankees.
I gave up being a Lions fan back in, I think, 2000.
They're doing pretty good though, no, aren't they?
Okay, but up until last year,
Yeah,
you realize the Lions had only won one playoff game since 1957.
yeah, I remember they went 0-16.
Yes, they were the first team to go 0-16.
I remember that too.
I don't want to hear you say shit about my Cowboys then.
Oh, but you want to talk about a joke right now this season? Ugly down there in Dallas, bud.
Oh, that owner is gold.
I know. Do you think he's gonna fire the coach and get Belichick?
He won't.
Oh man, I mean that would be a step in the right direction, but Belichick might be like,
could you imagine?
I don't know. Let's go revisit what you worked out with. Who was the old Giants coach? Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells.
What did you do for Parcells? I want that deal. I want control.
But he didn't get control.
No, that was Parcells' big problem.
That was Parcells' deal. He steps out of the way. He stepped out of the way for Jimmy Johnson. Step out of the way. You definitely gonna step out of the way for fucking Belichick. Oh, he'll be like, I'm out.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But he's not going to.
No, he's not. No, you're right. Exactly right.
And do you think Bill Belichick? I mean, Bill Belichick is the guy who mumbles through even though now he's all into the media.
Yeah.
As soon as he's coaching again,
yeah.
I kind of like that attitude in a way.
My
favorite was the answer.
Winning
The
like
answer
a champion.
But you really think he's going to look at Jerry Jones and be okay with him?
That's the problem.
Opening his fucking mouth.
And the problem is Jerry.
Issue. Yeah, that's the big issue. Is Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones can't get out of his own way as the general manager and the owner of the team, and Bill Belichick's going to want to be GM and coach, and Jerry Jones is going to be breathing down his neck. And you can only so many times, but Bill Belichick can say to Jerry Jones, "Don't worry, we'll wait till next week, and we'll focus on that." Okay? There's only so many times he can say that before Jerry Jones is like, "All right, listen, I want myself a winner. You better start. Come on now. All right, I'm not playing these games with you now, Billy."
When I was playing back in Arkansas Razorbacks.
Well, that's his problem, is that he thinks he's that good of a GM.
He's a moron.
You won,
and they're blaming Stephen Jones too. But he's like, "That's my dad. What can I? I got hands are tied."
They won because of Jimmy Johnson.
Yes, sir.
And he did a wonderful job.
Barry Switzer won because of Jimmy Johnson.
Exactly. And did Barry Switzer ever coach after that again?
I think he went to go back. Didn't he go back to college football?
I think he went to college, but not
college
football. But he didn't go back to a main. I don't think he went to a main.
I'm not sure. What happens is the team was already made because of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
So he just kind of walked in and walked that team to a championship, and then the wheels fell off shortly after that. After that little run that he had. But yeah, the Dallas Cowboys are a mess right now. It's funny. It's funny to see.
Yeah.
Just listen. I will say this: the Mets in the National League Championship was a great little surprise because the Mets were a laughing stock at the beginning of the year. So to see them turn it around and get that far was great. The Yankees got to the World Series. They steamrolled through the American League. I thought at least 7 games in the World Series. To me, the representation of that whole World Series will always come down to that moron that tried to rip the glove off of the. Did you see what happened? He tried to rip the glove. It was at Yankee Stadium. This guy tried to rip the fan tried to rip the glove and the ball out of this guy's hand. It was blatant. And he literally said this. They know that I patrol that wall. First off, you fucking
Jim Rome was all over that.
Yeah, I was like, you fucking moron. What are you talking about? You don't even. You're a dummy. It was to me. It was one of those moments where I was like, thank God this is a Yankee fan. Because if it was a Met fan, we wouldn't live this one down. This would be all over the radio station for weeks to come. And it's a Yankee, so they don't even talk about it anymore.
And you know what? I hope that guy has, because he's a season ticket holder. Yeah. I hope he's banned for life.
They better ban his ass for life, because he could have hurt Mookie Betts. He could have broke his wrist.
You cannot interfere.
Yeah.
Again, you look at what Steve Barton did. That was him just trying to get the ball. He wasn't trying to be malicious.
Yeah, no.
And that guy can't even show his face.
Yeah, this guy was literally trying to, it was blatant what he was trying to do, and it was terrible.
Yeah,
It just goes to how many beers do you need to do something that stupid? That's the question that I always have to ask.
But you know what? Everyone talks about the drama, in the toys. that we deal with. You have it in sports just like that.
Oh, you kidding me?
This is a guy that's trying to. He needs to interfere himself in, with the sports because he patrols that wall. Really, what's your contract again? I missed that contract.
When I heard them say it on the radio, they go, "Did you hear what he said? He said I patrol that wall," and I just literally was like, "What a fucking idiot! Like, what kind of fantasy world do you live in where you're telling people you patrol the Yankee wall? Like, what do you shut the fuck up? Like, I can't stand people. Like, I hate fans sometimes. I hate when people in New York say they hate the Yankees. It's not the goddamn team. It's the fans. Right. We hate the fans of that team because they are peons.
I don't think Steinbrenner made it easy either.
Oh no, he was. You know what it is too, is because his ticket to the championships at least. And listen, if any Yankee fans in here, you're about to get real offended. I hope Woody's not sitting in this room right now. He might fucking snap. But
I hadn't seen him yet.
In that 90s period where they were at Dynasty, he was just throwing money at the problem. So like he was just like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna just get everybody possible."
With him and Jerry Jones, same shit. Throw money at it. Throw money at it.
I will kind of dispute that in some ways.
Well, hold on. I'm just saying Frostbite's like, fuck these pussies, man. We got rugby.
I know, for real. Yeah.
Same people said the same thing about the Detroit Red Wings.
I'll just let you talk about your football.
No.
Everyone said in the 90s the same thing about the Detroit Red Wings. Oh, they just bought their championship.
Okay.
No, they drafted so well, but it got to the point where they had all these Hall of Famers. They had this huge payroll, but they had drafted or traded for them. Originally, the Yankees had done the same thing.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the 96 team.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking like going into the 2000. Like they had done. Eventually, they started just buying talent.
He started. I mean, he threw whatever because early 2000s. I was just watching that thing on Netflix, which I highly recommend. It's called The Comeback, the 04 Red Sox. Very fucking good.
I've never wanted two teams to lose so bad.
Oh my! It was just so crazy to see, like, just how, like, they got so close to getting A-Rod, and just when they couldn't get A-Rod, George Steinbrenner went out and just gobbled him up just to fuck the Red Sox. It was just such a crazy time in baseball where they were just throwing money at the problem. Like, no, I want more hitters. They're getting the pitcher, I'll get the hitter. Fuck them. This guy will hit. Who cares? It was just crazy time.
Do you know what Steinbrenner? Do you know what Steinbrenner did to Michigan?
I have no idea. No. So
Steinbrenner is an OSU fan, Ohio State.
Oh wow. Okay.
And they drafted Henny. No, not Henny. What the fuck's his name? He was a quarterback. So
for who?
The quarterback at the same time Tom Brady was there. They brought Drew Henson. So they brought in Drew Henson, right? And Michigan basically said, "Hey, you're going to be the starter." Now, Drew, anyone that thinks like any Michigan fan that says, "Oh, I love Tom Brady," no, you didn't. He didn't win the national championship. All right,
Travis.
And then when he came in, everyone wanted Drew Henson because Drew Henson just has, and you know Drew Henson because he played for the Cowboys for a while.
Tony Romo beat him out. Yeah.
Yeah, not really good. And his dream was to play baseball. He was drafted by the Yankees, but he was a better football player. He played one season at Michigan, and all the rumors were that because he was so good, Steinbrenner said to, I forget who the coach was at the time of Ohio State. He said, "I'll make sure he never plays for Michigan again." So he offered him a huge minor league contract because they drafted him, but under the agreement, he couldn't play for Michigan.
Wow.
So he left Michigan, never did anything in baseball. That was his dream, but he was better at football.
Yeah. Wow.
So he never played.
That's fucking crazy.
And he was always starting. And the reason why Tom Brady was called the comeback kid is because they were down a lot because this was a freshman learning the position. And then Tom Brady would come in and he would come back. So I think they were 8-3 or 9-3, something like that. Yeah. So that's why when he got drafted in the 6th round, no one thought anything about Tom Brady because he wasn't that great. But
no, even when Tom Brady was in the NFL.
Steinbrenner told God, who was the coach? He's like he'll never play for Michigan again. So he offered him this huge contract.
Scum fuck.
Yeah, but in it was, hey, you can't play college football. It wasn't you can't play for Michigan, can't play college football.
Yeah.
I'm sure if he played for OSU,
I know how about Steinbrenner. Just weirdly, like the Australian talking is from all your episodes of Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best version.
That's the only reason I know about Steinbrenner. So when you guys are talking about him, I'm just going back to Seinfeld right now.
Larry David said some of that stuff was like because he was reading about it in the paper because Larry David's a giant. He's a huge Yankee fan.
Right.
So he kind of knows because he would go to all the games. He kind of like talked to Steinbrenner a lot. So he kind of got like the inside scoop of how Steinbrenner is a little kooky. He's a little crazy. So he would take some of that.
That's what I'd heard. Was the way you see him portrayed in Seinfeld is how he was.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is interesting.
He's on an episode. So he plays himself on one of the episodes, but Larry David said it was bad that they replaced him.
Right.
And he didn't have the heart to tell George Steinbrenner.
Oh wow.
So like they had to like call Steinbrenner. Cool. Yeah, but if you go on YouTube and type in George Steinbrenner on Seinfeld, they'll actually show the scene where he interacts with Elaine. Yeah, it's really funny.
Right.
What's crazy is they say he was bad, but when you watch the scene, you're like, I think he did just fine. He would have portrayed the character. Obviously, he's playing himself, but he played it. He played it up like the way Larry David did. So he would have been just fine. It was pretty impressive.
I think what it topped it off was seeing that Cuban Steinbrenner.
Kenzo, who's a huge Broncos fan, says Steinbrenner drafted Elway, and that's how my Broncos got him. Because if the Colts kept him, he would have played for the Yankees instead.
Yeah, I think that's on one of the documentaries. Yeah.
Which I think is ironic because the only way that Elway could get a good quarterback was to go to the Colts and ask the greatest quarterback they ever had to come play for the Broncos, which was Peyton Manning.
That is true. That's very true.
Yeah, Clint, I know he's the one that can't, and I can't think of his name.
Was it that Ohio State coach that could never beat Michigan?
And yet, this is a guy that would be undefeated till they get to Michigan, and then, I mean, they'd have a better team, and he'd shit the bed every single year. I think he was 2-10-1 against Michigan.
John Cooper,
thank you.
That's
yes,
his name,
there it is. And yeah, I know that name because I've said it so many times.
Forrest, do you like basketball? I'm judging by your basketball jersey. Do you like basketball?
Yeah, Phoenix Suns, baby, got my team on right now.
I love wearing these jerseys. Like, I don't support a team. I think from all the players that I've seen in the NBA, I think the Phillies would be the ones that I support just some of the greatest players I've seen.
The 76ers, you're saying?
See, that's how you know he hasn't really watched teams. Because no one, unless you live in Philadelphia, you don't support Philadelphia.
First, I respect you, but I got to tell you, the team that you love right now is the physical representation of Dirtbag City.
I have about 10 of these jerseys of different teams and different players, and I just like it's that thing in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
In Australia, we weren't getting NBA games on TV.
Okay,
so we would sort of get these cool, like, you know, while you're playing with your American G.I. Joe, you sort of you're seeing kids with an NBA jersey with Jordan on it or Barkley on it, and you're like, man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And then so you grow up, and you may not support the NBA or watch it, but jerseys like this are ingrained in your head as being cool.
Cool. Oh yeah. I've had plenty.
I can't believe Tony hasn't said anything about the jersey yet.
That's not how I just did. Phoenix Suns, baby. He's got Booker. It's Booker.
And
right?
by the way, by Dirtbag City, I don't mean Booker. The people. I don't mean the people of Philadelphia. I just mean as a person who is a Met, Giant, Ranger, Knick fan. I got to tell you, everything about Philadelphia makes me sick.
They call it the city of brotherly love, and it is so not.
Okay.
Right.
No, they throw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Damn.
They are ruthless.
That'd be a big kind of crazy douchebag going to the 7th level of hell to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it felt good this year when the Mets beat them in the playoffs, because I was watching some videos and they were like, there was this one like a Philly fan and he was like watching that comeback. First off, the fact that the Mets were doing that kind of stuff, it just shocked me. Like to hit like grand slams in the bottom of the 9th, like it's not like the Mets to do that kind of stuff.
Was
Look
that
at
in
Mr.
the World
Mr.
Series,
Mad
Tony?
Mr.
How many
Mad was getting
countries are
mad
in
at
that?
the cat.
So
The Philly fan,
listen,
Mad Gus.
I don't make the rules, so that's the MLB shtick.
Well, you look at the Tigers. The Tigers were, I mean, they were awful.
Yeah,
And they went. They had the biggest turnaround of being like out of the playoffs to making it into the playoffs since 1951, I think it was.
Yeah,
it was this crazy thing because they just started winning, and I don't know if they can do it next year because their team is not that good. They have the Cy Young. The guy, I don't know if he's won the Cy Young, but he should win the Cy Young. They still have no bats. Like they just got hot for like I think 30 or 40, like about 40 games.
that's all it takes.
Yeah,
because the team starts to gel. Once you start to win, it's amazing how quickly that team begins to gel. That's what happened with the Mets this year, because like the Mets had the worst record in baseball at one point, and then all of a sudden it changed. They had the best record in baseball since the All-Star break.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, like they're playing for their lives, and then like because listen, as a Met fan, you usually, and I'm not even bullshitting, and any Met fan will attest to this, you usually give up around May or June. You're probably like, yeah, this team sucks. Like, and then by the All-Star break, you're just gone. You're out, right? So that's kind of happened this year. Then all of a sudden, you start to hear whispers. You start to watch the games. You're like, huh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Why are they coming back to win bottom? Like, why are they not quitting? I'm not used to this. And then playing meaningful baseball in September, all the way down to the very last game of the season where they have to play the Braves to get into the playoffs. And they hit a home run in the bottom of the 9th, or top of the 9th. And you're just like, oh, shit, this team is serious. Like it was the last game of the season where I'm like, oh shit, they're actually serious this year. I didn't realize that this was actually a thing now. Because I'm so used to giving up on them by August or September. You're like, yeah, this team is fucking, they're out of it by now.
For the Lions, like the guys on the radio, because the Lions would give up, the actual players, and usually around like game 9 or 10 when it was 16 games, you start going, yeah, you can see which players have the I-75 eyes. They're just ready to jump on I-75 and just cruise on down to Florida, go play Augusta.
Yeah. You can tell when like for instance, right now, I'm not a Jet fan, but man, if you listen to all the radio stations talking shit about the Jets, it is fucking hilarious.
You know what?
Because they were slated to go and win the Super Bowl.
Well,
wow.
I don't know who's
just because of Rodgers.
And no, because Rodgers, their defense isn't bad. They have a pretty good defense, and they thought their offense was going to click now that Rodgers was back from the Achilles injury. But I said it when they signed him. Usually, quarterbacks go to the Jets to die. Their careers die. That's why they go there. Because every top quarterback that has gone there, it's pretty much the end. You know, the end is near when they go there. And
they go to the Jets or the Cardinals.
Yeah. So when he went to the Jets, I was like, oh, Aaron Rodgers' career is done. And it's
you know what?
Shown proof again.
And then he got hurt.
It couldn't happen to a more arrogant guy.
I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I don't like him.
Neither. He's a little bastard. Yeah.
It was one thing to sit there and have to watch him in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Great talent. But he's won one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's so arrogant, like he's never had an issue. Like he does not, it's always someone else. It's always everyone else. And it was one thing when you're in Green Bay and you're going against the pitiful Lions, the shitty Bears, and usually the Vikings would be decent. Yeah, of course you ran roughshod over that. Now the difference between the Patriots, everyone's saying, well, they just ran roughshod over their division because their division always sucked. They were winning Super Bowls. They were winning in the playoffs. That's the difference with Tom Brady and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. And I'll say this, when people give the whole LeBron, who's better, LeBron or Jordan? First off, it's not even. Yeah, it's not even a debate. I'm sorry. Someone being more talented does not make you better.
Yeah. Well, first off, I would never compare. I never once compared Jordan to LeBron. I always compared LeBron to Magic, because he was more like Magic in a sense that he would dish the ball out. He's a very good role player, probably one of the best role players ever, because he could play all the positions, LeBron.
Yeah.
But when it came to I think this era of athlete don't get it. Like when guys talk about like the killer instinct that Jordan had, people don't fully understand what that means, because this generation of athletes just don't get it.
And it wasn't just him.
Yeah.
When you talk to actual players, like you talk to like the newer guys and they talk about small men, and they all want to go back to Iverson. But you talk to any of the old guys and they're like Isaiah Thomas.
No, Isaiah Thomas was good. Yeah, he was good.
Because he didn't care who you were.
Yeah.
No,
I agree with the chat. Kobe could be compared to Jordan.
Kobe is the shit.
Yeah. Okay, so Kobe could be compared to him as in their actual playing abilities.
Yes.
But I mean, LeBron is the second best player. He probably has way more talent than Jordan.
LeBron is a bitch.
But
I can't stand LeBron.
Tom Brady doesn't have the most talent of any quarterback. But to say that he's not the greatest quarterback of all time, and I don't want to hear anything about Mahomes, because his career isn't over. Talk to me when his career is over.
He's got a long way to go.
Yeah. It's just like, if you want to tell me someone who's better than Wayne Gretzky, no, you're wrong. Someone maybe more talented.
I couldn't tell you.
Sergei Fedorov, I mean, if you guys know anything about hockey, he should be the greatest hockey player of all time. Most talent ever. But he wasn't.
Yeah.
There's better players than him. And Jordan, again, if you were starting a team of any player and someone had to pick before you and they picked LeBron, you'd be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here's the problem. I'll tell you what the thing is. And I think this is what gets lost is Jordan had the ability to get into your head, because he could shit talk. I don't think LeBron. I'm not saying LeBron doesn't shit talk, but they said Jordan would say things to people that would fuck with them to this day. He used to call Muggsy Boggs a midget. Like, he used to be like, "You little midget, you can't guard me," and it fucks with Muggsy Boggs to this very day. That's how bad the shit talking was with Jordan.
But when you can back it up,
well, yeah,
you can. It's like this. You called me out for saying I'm copyright striking you, and I backed it up that I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, right? Like, I proved to you, like, all right, fuck you, dude. Like,
yeah. So, my favorite thing with Jordan was when guys, he would go, "Who's guarding me today?" And they'd say his name. They say names, and he go, 50.
Yeah, it's on.
Score 50.
Oh, he'd fuck with his teammates in practice too. Like,
when he would be insulted that a white guy was guarding him.
Oh, all the time he did that shit. Dude, he got offended with my favorite one was Byron Scott. When he was having a problem, and then someone said, he's like, "Yo, what's wrong, Mike? You fucked up." Mike just like looked at him. He's like, "Okay." And then like he came back in the game and scored like 30 unanswered points. It's like fucking insane. The stories of Jordan are crazy, man.
Yeah.
My thing
with Kenzo Creations. Kenzo just said Jordan would golf 36 holes, drink all day, and score 45 points while having a flu.
Dude, fucking Lawrence Taylor used to get on the field and play his ass off because he wanted to get off the field to smoke more crack.
Okay.
That's actual true stories from Lawrence Taylor's mouth.
All right. So, legend, do you listen to Jim Rome at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So, have you ever heard the story about Wade Boggs drinking all
the... Yeah.
My brother-in-law was on the plane with him.
He was on the plane with Boggs.
Yes, he played for the Yankees for 7 years.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. And I'm sitting with him one day at a family event where we're talking. And again, Scott retired before, like a year before I met Susan. And he played for 7 years with the Yankees, went to Cleveland, a few other places, right? Fourth, fifth starting pitcher. which is pretty damn good. Way better than any of us, right?
Oh yeah.
I once made one of my friends said, "Oh, I know who he is." He goes, "He's a shitty pitcher." I go, "I wish I was a shitty pitcher." And my friend looks at me and goes, "You are. They just don't pay you." So he told the story, and the story is very similar, but it was a longer period of time. So you hear about him drinking the 36 beers on the plane ride. Scott goes, no, he goes, we finished the game and he started drinking. It's probably about an hour ride to the plane. And then it's a 4-hour ride. And then it's like a 2-hour ride where we landed. And when we started counting, but he's like, so we counted out everything that he drank. And then we get to the bar, or we get to the hotel. It's like 2 a.m. And he goes, we just wanted to wind down. And he comes up and he goes, drinks for everyone. And there's 5 of us, so there's 6 drinks, and we're all like, dude, we got like a 1 o'clock game or something, whatever it was. And like, we're not drinking. He's like, okay. He goes, I watched him drink them all. He goes, we go out and play. He gets like 3 hits.
Yeah.
And I go, so that story is real? He goes, it's not what you told me that he said. It was a longer period of time, but it was a lot.
Yeah. He's still, I mean, listen, he's probably shit hammered, still playing the game the next day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's how Wade Boggs was.
But that's what I'm talking about. The breed of player back in that day, that's just the way they were. They would eat a T-bone steak, drink whiskey, then go and drop 45 points on you. And like, then after the game, just be sitting in the locker room with a giant fucking Cuban cigar, just sitting there like this. Yeah, I'm the greatest.
ready to go bang some.
That's what I'm saying. It's like fucking crazy, man.
I think anyone that watched Michael Jordan, and this coming from a Piston fan, like as much as the Pistons hated him because of what he did to them, and a lot of that was Jordan, a lot of that was how the Pistons handled it themselves.
Yeah.
He was just amazing. Like when he wanted to take over. When it was time to take over, there was no one that could stop him.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like watching Wayne Gretzky. He got behind that net with that puck, and you're like, he's passing it to someone that's going to fucking score.
Dude, the best thing one of the best things, it was like watching Superman open the thing for when he takes the shirt off, was in 95. He was in the playoffs against the Magic. And he was wearing number 45, and then just out of nowhere pulls the thing off, and he's got 23 on, and the crowd went banana. It was like I said, it was like Superman was like, "Fuck, I'm here, let's do this." And then like it was just like they lost that series, but still, it was such a moment.
I come across the short where they talk, like the guy that was playing, he remembers him doing that.
Yeah,
and because they're like 45 is not 23, and then like the next game, and they're like, in number 45, and then he comes out and he's wearing 23.
Yeah, because somebody said to him, because I forgot what game it was. I think it was the Magic, and he didn't have a good game. And when he was wearing 45, it was like he wasn't the same Jordan for some reason. And they say, I guess 40. Yeah, I guess 45 is not 23. They said it like that to him, like you're not the same player you were. Yeah. So Jordan took it personally, like he always does, and he went, "All right, you fuck." Okay, so the next game comes out and it drops like 40 points.
And he got fined every time he wore 23.
Yeah.
Because it made no sense. They retired the number, and they're like, the number is retired.
Give it down.
Yeah, well, it was the NBA saying the number is retired. Well, it's my fucking number.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's my number. All right.
Well, listen, he left that year. A lot of people say it was because his pops died, but he was going to get suspended for a year for gambling.
Yes, he was.
So he just took the year off because he's like, "Fuck you, so I'll go play baseball."
That is the biggest kept secret.
Yeah.
And I will when you watch around it,
mm-hmm.
and I believe his dad got murdered because of his gambling.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because if I don't know how he could be in debt. I mean, something didn't get paid, but again,
something happened. Yeah, but I remember watching on Hardwood Classics on the NBA Network, they were showing the '93 finals again. And all the speculation was about Jordan's gambling, like all the news, like the optics and shit about the seat. They weren't even talking about the finals. They were talking about Jordan's gambling because it was going to lead to a full year suspension.
And I truly do believe that they told him, "Hey, you need to retire for a year or two."
Oh yeah.
or we have to come out and say you're suspended.
Yeah, it's either you retire or we have to tell the truth as to why we have to like tell you can't play.
But what was he gambling? I'd love to know what he gambled on.
He gambled on everything. They said he gambled on everything with the exception of basketball because he wasn't allowed. But he gambled on everything. They said I mean, if you watch The Last Dance, he's in the locker room playing quarters with the security guards because that's how.
But he didn't gamble on basketball. So what?
No.
So like, I'm sorry. I don't care how great Pete Rose was. He gambled on baseball. It is the one thing you cannot do. I don't care that he should be in the Hall of Fame. He shouldn't be, because if you let him in, especially while he was alive, and I still believe, like, I could see this guy being like, I'm going to fake my death, and when they go to, when they finally let me in, I'm going to fucking show up there. Like, you see him on wrestling, like,
yeah, he was great.
Do something like that, right?
He showed up when he showed up at WrestleMania 14. I was like, I didn't know Pete Rose had mic skills.
But like, I'm sorry, like, you gambled on baseball. It is the one rule. It is in every locker room.
Yeah.
And you have to set that example.
Yeah.
And
I was like, my father was telling me the story a couple of days ago about Fran Tarkenton. He would shave points in the NFL.
Yep.
My father said that he had. My father told me a story. That he used to work for a bar, and the owner of the bar was a bookie, and he would go to all the games, all the Steeler games. My father lived in Pittsburgh, so he would go to all the Steeler games, and he would go up to Fran Tarkenton whenever they were in the town, or if he was playing. I don't remember if he was playing with the Steelers or not. And he'd say, "Who should I go with?" And he would say, "Take the points." Like he would, the Fran Tarkenton would tell the bookie, make sure you take the points, because he was just going to go out there and shave points, or he was going to go out there and fight. Like he said it was a fucking work. He goes, the NFL's been a work for decades, and they still don't get it. Yeah.
But I don't think that. I don't think that, and I don't believe the NFL. I don't think the NFL determines games.
No, I don't think so. But I think
here's
the thing, because they jumped all in on when like DraftKings, when gambling went legal, boy, they jumped all in on that shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't get the I don't get the whole gambling thing where they're like, hey, you know what? They're in bed with the gambling, and if I'm the NFL, I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, if our player doesn't want to, if one of our players and one of the teams is like, I'm not going to tell you exactly who's playing or what's hurt because you're trying to one up the other team. I don't give a shit if it fucks with your odds. That's on you.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they're so worried, because it's like, you need us more than we need you.
Mm.
I know everyone says because of fantasy football, but the NFL doesn't need gambling.
They don't, but it's $1 billion industry. Like
it's year round.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop, man. And all sports, literally, like even the WNBA now is like prospering from now the fact that gambling is legal, because degenerate gamblers will bet on anything. They will bet on anything.
If I have to hear them push the WNBA down my throat one more time, I'm glad that Caitlin Clark did well. And I know she's a phenom. All right. And that's awesome. And if you want to watch it, great.
Yeah.
But that league is subsidized by the NBA solely. When they're mad that they don't make millions of dollars like the NBA,
oh shit,
it's because when they pay you your $70,000 a year, they've lost $70,000.
Yeah. Well, it's like, until those buildings become full like NBA games, they can't. Yeah. They can't pay you like that. That's the thing.
Yeah, they can't pay you like that. Yeah. Sorry, it doesn't sell. Sorry.
When the women's soccer team, when they were mad that they weren't making as much money as the men, they had a right to be, because they were more popular.
Yeah.
And people were coming in there to watch them. No one wanted to watch the men. No. But everyone wanted to watch the women. So you do have a right then, because you're the ones that were bringing in the money.
Yeah, you're bringing in the money. All right.
Yeah, but the WNBA, it's like nobody wants to watch it.
Nobody cares. It's one of those, like, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
And I'm not saying go away. I'm not saying go away. I'm just saying don't be mad. I mean, you don't have to work, right? You get your sponsors. Enjoy it. And if Caitlin Clark can make it that much greater, great. Good for you. I'm still not going to watch it because not entertaining.
No, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about that about any of that shit. Even when it comes to any of that shit, like women's wrestling, I just tend to check out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I can't even. I don't want to sound like a sexist pig or anything like that, but it's just one of those things. I come from the era of wrestling. This sounds so fucked up. This sounds so fucked up. But when
watch women wrestling all fucking day.
With two women would get in the ring to wrestle, I'd be like, all right, smoke break.
You guys don't do lingerie bowl anymore. Is that you still do that?
Do what?
I don't think
lingerie NFL. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember the lingerie bowl.
Yeah, the lingerie bowl.
Oh my goodness! No,
it was NFL, but in tight, skimpy outfits.
The lingerie, and they were tough chicks too.
Yeah, they.
And still all over TikTok and Instagram, they're kicking each other's asses all up and down.
But when it comes to football, like they've tried other leagues. People want to watch the NFL. And
well, you know what it is because anytime somebody tries to do a football league, they don't have the kind of money that the NFL has.
Yep.
So they can't get the caliber of player that the NFL gets. So you get those like third, fourth string rate players that just aren't that good to begin with, you know. And so like it's bad football.
And people would rather watch college because even though now that they're all being paid and they jump ship, us as fans, we have that allegiance, you know, to again, Michigan football. That's
it's the school that represent your state or whatever, or your city. Yeah.
You know, and so like it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're gonna be mad. Like if somebody leaves Michigan and goes to Ohio State, you're damn right we're not. Like you don't fucking go there, right? There should be a law that like you can't jump from one rival to the other.
That hurts, man.
I'm not going from the Cowboys to the goddamn.
Dude, that just happened this year to the Giants. That just happened this year.
Yeah,
but that's different. Professional is different because you're getting paid. It
still hurts.
It's now your job.
What are you talking about? College?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
College. Watching fucking Saquon Barkley.
I'm sorry, I'm playing with toys. I'm sorry.
Watching Saquon Barkley score touchdowns for the Philadelphia Eagles makes me throw up in my mouth every single Sunday.
But whose fault is that?
Well, the Giants offered him a deal. He just wanted more money. That's why he went to Philly.
Well, they told him to go find. They said go find someone, and when they came back,
he's kicking ass over there too a little bit.
I know. Watching him score touchdowns, he's just like this, motherfucker. And we got to sit here and watch dumbass Daniel Jones. And I know what the fuck he's doing. Oh,
Danny Dimes, please refer to him.
Danny
Dimes. He's done more interceptions since he signed that contract in New York. I'm sorry, New Jersey.
Yeah. Again, it's the Jersey Giants.
I don't know how New York has two teams yet. Neither one plays in the state.
Oh, you know, I always tell people, I say it's because New York bullied Jersey. And they were like, we're going to put our stadium here. Now shut the fuck up. Yep. We just put it there. That was it.
Yep.
Well, I would laugh because the Pistons used to play in Auburn Hills, which is 30 miles out of Detroit.
Yeah.
And now they're in Detroit. And you would hear all these people go, oh, if they ever moved to Detroit, you know, they would support it. No. They supported the Pistons when they were good. No one had a problem driving 45 minutes when they were good. But when they suck, no one wants to go there. Well, guess what? They're in Detroit, center of everyone. No one goes there. You know why? Because they suck.
Yeah, it's not good.
You know, people said they're not even the Detroit Pistons. They're the Auburn Hills Pistons. But then I'm listening to people, you know, say the New York, the New York Giants, New York Jets. I'm like, they don't even play in the same fucking state.
No, yeah.
So don't give me that bullshit. They don't even play in the damn state. All right, like we're not even talking about
that bullshit.
Technically, the Cowboys don't play in Dallas.
That's true.
They play in Arlington. Mm-hmm. I've been to that stadium. It's a nice place, dude.
Oh, I've been there many times. I got free drinks because my name. I got free drinks because my name's Tony Romo.
That's awesome.
My cousin. We're like, you know, not in the seats, but in the party areas where you can stand up, and go to the bar, and mess around and watch the big screens. We're there, and he fucking opened his mouth. He goes, "My cousin's name's Tony Romo." Everybody's like, "Yeah, bullshit." And the bartender heard him. He goes, "Your name's Tony Romo. Drinks on me." I go into my wallet. Anthony Romo.
I guess this guy's drinking on the house.
Like, everybody's like, yeah.
And what FCS Dogs here says, with many college players now being essentially pros, that throws almost all the school loyalty out the window. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
No pro cares as much about the rivalry as the fans do. unless if they grew up in it. You're absolutely right, because it's a job. That's what people don't think about when it comes to sports. First off, I'm amazed that we've talked about sports this long and there's still 26 people watching, and there were in the 30s. That was shocking. So much for talking about the streamathon. I guess I guess no one else wanted to join that was on it. Guess they had enough. No, you're absolutely correct. With them being able to jump ship, which I absolutely hate. I think you should be able to switch. Like, you should be able to leave one college and go somewhere else one time. And then if you do it after that, you have to sit out.
Yeah, because I agree with that.
What are you learning? You're learning that every time something's a little difficult, you just jump ship.
You just go to another school. Yeah.
You know, now coaches do it. And if coaches can, I believe the players should be. But, you know, if you go to Michigan and you're like, hey, you know what? This isn't working out. I'm going to go to Miami. Okay, understand. Yeah. Right? But then you go to Miami and all of a sudden it doesn't work. And you're like, you know, I'm going to Florida State. We've watched people go to like 5 different schools in 5 years.
Man.
I also think you shouldn't be able to go to anyone else in your conference.
I think if they add these parameters, it'll probably make these kids stay at the school for at least 2 or 3 years. Instead of fucking as soon as they don't like it, they go somewhere else.
Yeah, there should be there definitely should be some sort of contract. But the NC2A did this to themselves. But by not paying the players because they wanted to keep the billions of dollars. They should have started paying the players. Now they're all free agents, and now it's just this. Now the wrong people are paying them, but it's legal. You know, and it's unfortunate, but hey, you know what? That's what you did to yourself, man.
For real, dude. Yeah, I went to Dallas for WrestleMania, dude. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Yeah, Undertaker came out, and it was the first time I'd ever actually seen the Undertaker live. So to see it in that,
how long was this?
2016, 2015.
That's the first time you saw the Undertaker?
Yeah, every time I had gone to see him, he was either injured or he just wasn't wrestling that day, and it would always break my heart because he was one of my all-time favorites. To see him, it was like it was the first time I'd ever seen him live, and all the lights went out, and I swear to you, the building got at least 20 degrees colder. So I don't know if they cranked the AC up in there just to give you the ambiance of his entrance, but it comes down, the degrees come down to about 25 degrees, and then the heat from the fire that was shooting up from the stage as he was walking, you could feel it from where I was sitting.
So that's what I remember of WrestleMania 23, when those flames went off, because we were sitting here was the Titantron, we were over here.
So you're right over the side of it. Yeah.
When those things went, you felt it. So can you imagine being anyone that's
right there, dude? The next day, I go to Raw, and the Dudleys come back or some shit, and the you know, when the Dudleys come out, they have that one little firework that hits the thing, and then the stage just blows up. Well, we're right there, like I'm sitting right next to the stage. We're in that front balcony section where you're right next to the stage, and I just like kind of look up like this, and I could see the little spark going. I'm like, what the fuck? And it just, you see this thing fire off, and all this fucking fire goes off in front of me, and I was like, what the fuck? It was so goddamn. I was like, in the matter of, I think 5 seconds it took, it was like boom, boom, boom. I was sweating bullets because of the heat. It was so hot because we were so close to where the fire went off. It was crazy, man.
So you want to know what I got to see live? How do you remember when WCW wasn't very good?
I remember when WCW was okay and not good. That was as far as they got. It never got very, very good.
Do you remember the Halloween Havoc where the Yeti and the giant sandwich Hulk Hogan? Yeah. We got to see that live.
I call that Night at the Roxbury. Night at the Roxbury Hogan.
So that was, I think, 95.
It was 95. Yeah, it was pretty much the lowest point of WCW.
So I had graduated, I graduated in 94. So I drive, so we're there, and that was when they had the monster truck fight. Hulk Hogan and Giant had that monster truck. and Hulk Hogan throws the giant off of Cobo Hall into the Detroit River. And my dad goes, the river's not right there. He goes, I mean, the river is there, but he's like,
That's not right.
He's like, he'd fall to the ground. Like,
He's like, wait a minute.
You know, which of course you know he's not, but he's like, oh my God.
Your dad was calling bullshit.
But when he came out, if I remember correctly, he was like all wet too.
Yeah.
But then the Yeti comes out, which who is the Yeti?
The Yeti, I don't know if you remember, do you remember Reese from Raven's Flock?
Nope.
Kinda.
That was the Yeti. He was just a kid that was training down at the power plant that they repackaged multiple times. Yeah.
They get
Jets are kicking ass now.
Hulk Hogan between them, and they like
they just like this.
Essentially hump him. Like
They literally humped Hogan into submission. They did.
they dry humped Hulk Hogan from both sides. Which,
that
like,
was
Hogan, why didn't you?
What kind of wrestling is that shit?
That was an extreme low point in WCW. That was Hulk Hogan just being like, "Listen, brother, you ain't gonna do nothing but like maybe give me a bear hug or something, dude." And they were like, "All right,
I'm not gonna give you a reach around, brother."
Yeah, come on, brother, I ain't getting slammed by no Yeti.
Now I will say this: when The Rock throws over Austin's belt, at Belle Isle, that is the real. That's the real bridge to go into Belle Isle.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they did it to make it seem like that he throws him off it.
Oh, I remember that. But that was basically they shot it the night before.
Yeah.
And it was just Austin hung on the thing. Rock hit him, and then they just dropped a dummy. So they just cut to the wide angle, and the dummy falls into the water. Yeah, I remember that.
But I mean, when he did throw the belt, he threw a belt. We know it's not.
He
did throw a belt into. I'm not sure if that's the Detroit River or not because of how Belle Isle is. I think it splits off. But
those things are always done at like 3 a.m. Just like when Vince blew up his limo when he was gonna like kill himself off, the character. That was done at 3 a.m. outside the arena, and none of the residents knew what was going on. So they heard this loud explosion and a fireball, and they see this car burning in the parking lot of the arena. And all the cops and fire department that showed up was a legit call.
They were real. They're on a real call.
They were real because they had no fucking idea what the hell's going on.
And who would have thought that would have that angle would have ended because Benoit killed off his family.
That happened literally that weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole reason why. Like,
Sunday. Yeah.
I don't even want to laugh. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to laugh, but like.
It's bullshit. Yeah, it was fucked up.
So
What happened?
Awful. And when you hear people that still try and defend that, it's none of the wrestlers anymore. Like none of the wrestlers, at least none of the big time wrestlers. They're all like, especially
Paul Heyman. I always say Paul Heyman had the best thing to say.
I know it.
One of the greatest wrestlers of all time. It's just true. But only one person had the choice to die that day, and it was Chris Benoit. It was not Nancy or Daniel, his son and wife. Oh. He took their life.
Yeah.
And it was. So for that, he will always go down as a piece of shit. But in terms of what he did in the ring, and probably one of the single greatest. I mean, listen, it makes me sick when people talk about technical wrestling. It just makes me sick because, and I always say this to guys, until you actually technically wrestled, you will never know shit about technical wrestling because it's not that fun. It's boring. You like the storytelling.
It's really boring.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's why I think when you see a technical wrestler that makes it fun.
Yeah. Kurt Angle is a great example of that.
So let me tell you a story about Kurt Angle. So we saw his first televised match.
Okay. I remember that.
So it was that, I believe, the Joe. Yeah. And the guy that I was with was an MMA guy. So he loved amateur wrestling. And everyone was booing Kurt Angle because he was wrestling and it was boring as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon is sitting there going, "Fuck you guys!" He's like, "You couldn't do any." And he's fine. I'm like, "Calm down, dude. Like, Brandon, calm down. You can't beat up everyone here, all right?" But it was boring as shit. Kurt Angle could have easily walked away and said, "You know what? Screw this. I can beat up anyone here." In a real match.
Guess who walked in?
He realized I need to be entertaining.
It's like I said, you can be the best. You can be the best technical wrestler in the world. Listen, I love Bret the Hitman Hart. I know on this program a lot of people aren't Bret Hart fans, but I love the Hitman. But he was the cure for insomnia. Like he couldn't really cut promos. The ring, what he did in the ring, while absolutely beautiful, he was just like an artist. It was very slow paced, methodical, very technical, and it was the same thing with like Benoit. People love Benoit because everybody loves the guys who can blend. So if I'm wrestling a luchador, I can go fast pace and dive through ropes and do some stuff. If I'm wrestling a straight up shoot for a fighter like Kurt Angle or Brock Lesnar, I can do some suplexes. I can do all the wrestling. If I'm wrestling someone like Stone Cold Steve Austin, where I know it's going to be more of just like a brawl all over the arena, I can evolve into do that too. Benoit was one of those guys. He was a perfect puzzle piece that you could fit in any puzzle you put him into.
As long as it didn't have a microphone in front of it.
Exactly. It was when you put a microphone in front of him. It was like watching a monkey try to fuck a doorknob. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. You understand? So that's what it comes down to. I tell people all the time when guys go, "Oh, I don't like the gimmick stuff. Well, I don't like that, WWE shit. I like technical wrestling." It's like, do you though?
Watch amateur wrestling.
Like, do you? I mean, I say this: if you love technical wrestling, just go watch UFC because it's real. It's real wrestling. It's real fighting. That's technical wrestling at its finest because it's real. If you're watching pro wrestling for technical wrestling, I don't know what you're watching.
I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what you're doing.
And that is why I say Shawn Michaels is the greatest wrestler of all time because he could do everything.
Shawn Michaels is another puzzle piece. He's just like Benoit. It didn't matter, but the only difference between Shawn and Benoit was Shawn could cut a promo. Shawn could speak.
And Shawn could work the mic.
But Shawn evolved. I think we talked about this on Saturday night or Saturday morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I love Hulk Hogan.
He's the best.
When I still hear the WrestleMania 3 promo, I get goosebumps still.
Yeah. Wrestling wouldn't be what it would be without him.
You're right, but the 2000, the 90s came and he still did the exact same thing. And then the 2000s, he never evolved. The only reason why it worked was because he was Hulk Hogan. Shawn Michaels evolved his mic skills. So when he was a heel, he could do
I agree and disagree with that because Shawn was always a snide little prick.
Yes.
Whether he was a baby or a heel. It's just it fit better when he was a heel. That's why he was tailor-made for Degeneration X. Because Shawn at his core was an absolute degenerate.
But he was able to change. Where Hulk Hogan was always 0 to 100, no matter what.
Hogan was great though. Because Hogan, when he went heel, Hollywood was great. Hogan was great. It was that red and yellow run in the 80s into the early 90s was great. He did get sour. He got very stale in 92, 93, and 94. Couldn't agree more. By 95, you were so sick of it that he's, like you said, he's fighting the Yeti and he's in the Dungeon the Doom hideout, touching water that's not hot. Like it was so bad because they didn't know what the fuck to do with Hogan that the only thing you could have done was turn him heel. And it was the smart play in 96.
Oh, no. And because I remember watching that.
Yeah.
I remember watching that. Who's going to be the third man?
Yeah.
And it made so much sense because there was no one more WWF than Hulk Hogan.
It had
other than Vince McMahon. And at that point, no one really knew who they knew who Vince McMahon was. Not everyone realized he owned the company.
Yeah, no, it had to be Hogan because if it would have been anybody else, it just wouldn't have had the same.
It could have been Macho Man. It could be Sting. Like Sting was always WCW.
Yeah. The only reason that could have worked was because of what you just said, where it would have been a shock value thing that Sting finally is heel, but it had to be Hogan.
But if it would have been Sting, it would have changed the trajectory just because now it's not about an invasion anymore. Hulk Hogan saying, that company up north, no one built it more than I did. And he was absolutely right.
No, 100%. Yeah.
So that worked out absolutely perfect. And it was so good.
I agree with Aaron, by the way. I only technical wrestlers. That's true. And that's what I'm saying. That's what you should be doing. Is like if you're gonna watch technical wrestling, go watch the real shit. Because at least there, the winners aren't predetermined.
What professional wrestling is and you know this, it is a soap opera. It is a TV show.
It's the best soap opera in the world.
I've heard this conversation before. I swear to God, I have. Jesus Christ.
It's the best. It's the best soap opera in the world, boys.
But again, this is why I say that reality TV is bullshit, because we know it's all scripted. At least wrestling, we know it's scripted.
Yeah.
The only difference is I get to watch people actually.
Reality TV is bullshit.
Listen, until you watch Stone Cold Steve Austin beat the shit out of Booker T in a supermarket, you don't know actual reality.
Great. That was so great. And then hear LL Cool J talk shit to him after that.
When you see Stone Cold Steve Austin smack Vince McMahon over the head with a fucking bedpan, and you hear the ping.
Groceries all in your hair, lettuce. LL
Wrestling was great, man. Dude, I don't care what I like, dude. Wrestling was during that time, it was great. Seeing Ravishing Rick Rude show up on 2 shows at once, and then the next week they call out
real life
that little wiffle. Wasn't it Wiffleman that had come dressed up as him, and they pushed him down, and they're like, "That's all we need."
Yeah.
Like something like that was awesome.
But when they had Bret Hart after the screw job, they had Bret Hart come out as a midget, and then they pushed him down. Sean pushed him down, put the sharpshooter on his little legs, and he couldn't get him because his legs were so small.
Yeah. And they acted it so perfect. The music hits, and they're like, and then when they come when the midget comes walking out.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get that again, though.
No, you can't do that no more because people are too sensitive.
Yeah,
you can't take shots like that anymore because.
But you have the internet.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like people will like, oh, I can't believe they did that. How like people are very sensitive. This comes from me being around the locker rooms now, where I'm seeing guys and they're just so. You can't say shit. You can't do shit. Like if you want to cross the line, it's got to be a work. Like nowadays, like back in that day, you could use a level of reality to blur the lines.
20 days.
That shit, yeah. Now you can't do that shit because people get so offended. They go in the locker room, they go online and start talking shit. It's a whole fucking thing now with how it works today, man. It's that's why it'll never be like that, because back then it was organically happening because there was actually animosity between guys. There was a lot of
some
ego
shit going on behind the scenes. Yeah.
Nowadays these guys, it's not that they don't. It's not that they don't want the top spot. It's just they don't mind sharing the top spot now.
But again, as long as you have the social media and everything, and I talk to the younger guys that I skate with, when they're talking about like, well, this is the best skateboard video. I'm like, okay, so let me explain to you. When I was coming up, the reason why, like, that one may be better than the one that I watched, but we had these big, huge leaps and bounds because a lot of the videos we were getting the footage was a year or two old. You don't have things instantly. Like now, someone does a trick, it is instantly on Instagram, and everyone fucking sees it, and they know exactly what they did. So if you drop it in a video, it's like, oh well, we've already seen it.
Yeah.
So it's like we watched this progression, and I think wrestling was the same way. It's almost impossible to keep anything a secret. I don't watch wrestling anymore.
No, you can't.
But it's impossible to shock someone. Yeah.
Well, the problem is like I can't, because if I go on Monday Night Raw, let's say Monday, and I say I don't like Frostbite, he pisses me off. But then the very next day, me and Frostbite are chilling at Disney World, and I'm taking a selfie with him. You know what I'm saying? Just yesterday, I'm talking about how much I hate him, but then here we are with Mickey Mouse.
That's it nowadays. They don't care.
Now, Lenny, did you know that Tony felt like that about you?
No, but that's okay. That's okay. As long as he delivers it in a macho man voice, then right, I'm just gonna laugh.
I'm not digging. Yeah, I don't like Frostbite. Yeah, too cold for me. Yeah, understand? Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so I love the mod. Everyone can do some sort of mod. Now yours is spot on.
Thank you, sir.
Why don't people ask you to do Skeletor more often? Because no
man.
I don't know.
Right,
I don't know.
Listen, there's a lot of people that may have never. Do a little Skeletor for everyone.
My favorite one is always when he calls people bumbling buffoons, because that's what usually that's how I yell at my wife.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna play a video from Mossman, and then I want you to come out and talk about what Mossman did.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, hey guys, welcome to the 36-hour Punk with Toys for Tots streamathon, yeah! So we all know Lawrence, sometimes he can be a little bit sassy. But for the next 36 hours, Lawrence, he's raising money for Toys for Tots. And so he's going to take all the money that this channel makes, so through your super chats and your super stickers or the memberships or all the monies, guys. And he's going to use that to go to Sergeant Reds and buy toys and donate them directly to Toys for Tots. But don't worry, you don't have to just watch Lawrence for 36 hours. He's bringing actually a lot of friends to come help. A lot of great content creators like Allison Troy, Punks on Film, Osterdom's Toys Clubhouse, Hello Toys, and just a whole bunch more, guys. And you can support just by sending a super chat or becoming a channel member or even maybe just reaching out to Lawrence with a direct donation. There's also a note here from Lawrence. What does that say? It says, tell them I'm not just going to buy G.I. Joe figures and gridiron stuff with the money. So we got 36 hours, guys. So let's go ahead and grab our favorite can of spicy barbecue Pringle chips and just sit back and enjoy all the amazing content.
So Skeletor, what do you have to say about what Mossman had to say about this streamathon?
Well, first off, I don't like that you had Lord Alfred Fuzzy Nuts in my castle. What the hell? That bumbling buffoon has no business being in my castle.
That's damn right. Mossman.
I did like the one where he has the little sign with Tony Figs rules and stuff. It took me a very long time to realize that was Ted Darkclaw, by the way. I had no idea it was Ted.
You see that shit?
Hold on, let me. Which one is with? I think
it was hilarious.
Hey guys, so just a heads up. Somebody made such a mess in Lawrence's bathroom, so don't go in there for a little bit. I'm gonna blame Dopey back here, stinking up the dang toilet. But anyway, welcome back to a Punk with Toys for Tots streamathon, where for the next 36 hours, October 25th through October 27th, all the channel revenue is going to be donated to Toys for Tots. So he's going to go to this really cool toy store called Sergeant Reds. He's going to buy a bunch of action figures, and he's going to donate them to kids in need. But anyway, there's still a whole bunch more awesome content coming up from a lot of your favorite creators. So make sure you stay tuned for the whole time and just watch the whole show. And make sure you send some super chats or something. But all right, I gotta go take care of this real quick. Bye.
Okay, so that was the wrong one. So when I go to play it, there's two of them. And he's holding a sign on both of them. So hold on, So I thought it was the last one. It's actually. So this is the one you wanted to see.
Oh, hey guys! If you're just tuning in, man, you've missed a lot of great content, but there's still a whole bunch more going on because this stream's 36 hours long. This stream's going on from October 25th through October 27th, and all the revenue that this channel makes is going to go to Toys for Tots. So Lawrence, he's going to go to this really cool toy store called Sergeant Reds. He's going to buy a bunch of toys for all the little kids in need. And you can help donate by sending super chats or super stickers, or maybe even consider becoming a channel member. So if you don't like Lawrence, then you can just send a bunch of mean super chats. Be like, Lawrence, you suck. Your content isn't good. You're biased against Valverse, and all you do is buy gridiron stuff, and then you say it's really great, but it's actually overpriced crap, or whatever mean things y'all want to say to him. Anyway, we still have a whole bunch more content coming, so send that mean super chat to Lawrence. Enjoy the show.
My favorite one for some. It's my favorite one for some reason.
I did not say that about Valaverse. I didn't ask him to say that. That was all Ted Darkclaw. So please don't run over to any of their forums or onto their live streams and say, hey, you know what? Punk is saying that. I didn't say that. It was actually one of your buyers that sells your product. All right. It was a joke.
That's just Beastman painted green, right?
Flocked.
Flocked, right? Or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
Now
he looks like when Beastman gets gangrene on his testicles.
So for me, I love the first. Ted thought I was going to be mad about the first one because he used pictures of me yelling, and then he put the hat on, and he's like, he goes, "If you don't like it, I'll change it." He goes, "I'm not sure." He goes, "You're either going to like it, you're either going to love it or hate it." And I was dying because that was the first.
Stuff,
he sent me the first one. He's screaming, but this one here, just because of Dopey, which Dopey was made by Ed, one of the moderators, and set to him. This one ended up being my favorite one.
Oh, hey guys, it's Moss Man again.
And Dopey.
No, you're not part of this one.
Okay.
Anyway, welcome back to the Punk with Toys for Tots Streamathon. So this is going on from October 25th through October 27th, which is streaming non-stop. So we've made a whole bunch of money so far to donate for Toys for Tots, but we can still keep going. We still got some time left. So if you want to participate, you can send a super chat or a super sticker, or maybe even consider becoming a channel member. And all that money, Lawrence is going to take that and go to this really cool toy store, Sergeant Red's. He's going to buy toys, and all that's going to get donated for Toys for Tots. But anyway, we still got a whole bunch of really awesome content coming from a lot of great content creators. So let's get back to the show.
I just love the Dopey part.
What figure is that?
Ed made it.
Moss Man?
Yeah.
So Ed made Dopey, put it in a package, flocked it, because they're like, eventually we're gonna get a copyright strike about using Moss Man.
Oh, yeah.
But I've said this before, like if I watch a show, if there's ever a Motu, a new cartoon or whatever, and Moss Man comes on, the moment I hear the voice, I'm gonna be like, that's not his voice.
That's not his voice. Yeah.
And we all do it now. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if I hear someone say, "Oh no," I'm like, "Oh no."
And my teenage daughter did that to me a couple of days ago. I said something that, should matter to a normal human being, but teenage daughter was like, "Oh no." And in my head, I immediately went, "Ooh, no."
It's so bad. He has completely ruined us. But you listen to Jim Rome, right? Do you still listen to Jim Rome?
Every now and again, yeah.
Okay, so now he talks about Rome Tourette's. When you start saying stuff that clips, that's what this has become, man.
Yeah.
I've started to have Moss Man Tourette's.
Dude, let me tell you something. You come on the pre-roll. These guys love that dry creek bed thing with the female Sasquatch video.
The ween.
The ween and the knobbers.
The ween.
He starts jerking the ween.
Oh, that stuff, man. I don't know. And like you said, why is Skeletor not? I don't know, because not even Macho Man is popular anymore, because now everybody wants me to be a middle-aged white woman that smokes too much named Estelle.
Estelle.
That's all they want now. It's like you call for Estelle.
And I told you, I work with a woman that do the voice for everyone so they can, because everyone knows a woman like this.
Everybody knows a woman like this.
60s.
She sounds like she smokes too many Pall Malls. You understand? I've been around the block a few times. You understand, boys? And now I got this. Like, after everything with the stream, I went on Hella Dope Toys and I bought this figure, this Tony D'Angelo action figure. And now it's just all about this guy. Like, I talk to this guy now. Like every time somebody comes in on the stream, I'm like, "Hey, how you doing over here? Come on, man. Sit down, man. Enjoy the program." And I walk away just thinking that it was a silly thing. I did one guy. Now I go into somebody else. They're like, "Hey, where's Tony D at? Tony?" Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
But it's awesome because you have created this community. Again, there's one giant community, but
yeah,
we all have our own individual communities. And I know some people hate that term, and I don't really understand.
I don't get it either.
Why you would hate the term community, but we all have our own community.
I think sometimes people are too preoccupied with trying to be the loner, but they don't want to be a part of a group.
But once you start having like I said, you have characters. Ted and Aaron, they have that Moss Man character. You start to have signatures that people get to know and expect from you. And that's when you really realize, like, all right, I'm really getting through to these people and they're actually enjoying what I'm doing.
The biggest compliment I can say is the fact that I'll stream on Sunday night, 10 p.m. till about 1 a.m. 3 hours, and the 3 hours, all the people who started watching the stream are at the very end saying good night, and that to me that's the highest compliment, man.
Yep. So for a while, I had realized like my streams were getting more views, right?
Okay.
So I was getting more views, and then the views, they started dropping. But I had noticed that like I'm getting more people watching like live, and I couldn't understand it. And then I realized, oh, people are just staying the whole time. So they're not bouncing to another stream and then they're coming, like they're staying the whole time. So rather than multiple views, it's just one long view. Yeah. And that's the fact that you're able to capture someone's attention for that long.
That's a high compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people have other things to do in life. I mean,
when you were talking about it earlier, Punk, with your streamathon, and you were saying, you know, you didn't think some people would turn up or people would watch. Like when I watch your stream, I'll be sitting here at my desk painting something or designing something or doing like getting one of my videos prepared.
Yeah.
And I'll have you on my TV, which is up there, and I'll have you on for 2, 3, 5, 8 hours, whatever length it is. And I'll do my normal life. You'll be in my background, and that's it. You just what I listen to.
That's what happened. I got Mython in trouble at Wendy's because he went to Wendy's as I was playing the Sasquatch stuff.
Right.
He had rolled the window down to get the food, and just he would get the food out. I guess the guy was screaming about knobbers. I mean, like there couldn't have been better timing. And the guy at like Wendy's like staring at him like, "What the fuck are you listening to in there?" Yeah.
Would you like anything else with your order? You're jerking the wing.
Yeah. Start blowing me again.
It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
But that's, again, I agree. That's one of the biggest compliments, that people are staying the whole time.
Yeah.
And then when you start watching the views on the replay, and that's really like, some streams are not meant to be watched on the replay. And I tried to model, again, not right off the bat, but as I did my Mondays, I wanted it so they can just click on it while they're at work and listen. They don't have to really watch too much. I don't think you need to really watch me talk about McFarlane. I don't think you need to see it. You're there to listen to me obliterate the human language. That's one thing, right? Let's be honest. You don't need to see what chat I posted to know that I completely killed that word or trying to say someone's name.
Yeah.
Right. And I still wonder at times, like, why are people sitting throughout this whole thing? But as it grows and you start to realize, like, these people are really into this.
They connected to you, and they become like I don't want to say like a friend, but they feel like your friend. Like they start to take your opinion as, you know, like God, they take it seriously. They start to believe what you say. They agree with you, and they relate to you. You know, like there's something that you bring to the table that people will sit there and go, I can fuck with this guy for at least 3 hours every week and listen to what he's got to say.
And you said something earlier,
like 13 customs with him on in the background.
Yeah.
And you said something earlier about how, like, you'll look at your chat and they're just talking.
Yeah.
And Jerk and Gaines kind of said it when they were on, and they said, yeah, it's kind of become like going to a bar. And I had started saying that like a couple months ago, where I'm like, it's like everyone's going to the bar on Monday. No one has to leave.
Exactly.
Like
there's no
once I end it, you're already at home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's why I tell them all the time. I want you to feel like you're at a cookout and I'm the crazy uncle. And I'm standing at the grill telling stupid stories. And we're all just sitting around the fire listening and just kind of talking amongst ourselves and listening to the crazy uncle spew craziness. I'm like, oh, Uncle Tony, he's fucking nuts, isn't he? You know, like that's really all I wanted it to be. And then to see, like, I mean, I only did, I think, 30 total pre-rolls so far. And to see how quickly it's gotten to where it is. And like I said, people just stay the whole time. And they like, I'll go into other people's stream and just say hello, friends, and it's just one after another. Hey, Tony, blah blah blah. I love it.
Pre-roll.
Yeah, it feels it's humbling, but it feels great at the same time. It's like, yo, man, it's like it feels good. You're actually affecting people. That's to me is the biggest.
Yeah, go to Joe Fist and have strangers come up to you and say, "Hey, Tony Spinks, can I get a picture with you?"
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
This is because they saw you with me, and they were like,
"No, you were nowhere around, bro. You were at Delta 17, wasting time with Toy Connections, whoever that is."
You gotta love the automatic shutdown there by Tony. Because you were with me. No, you weren't there, bro.
Yeah.
Tony knows.
Nice try.
Nice try, bud.
The other thing that a lot of people
motherfucker.
Another thing a lot of people don't realize that are doing streams that want to get big is that if you don't go visit other channels while they're live, people start to notice. And it's like, wow, I'll see you I'll see you in another chat when it's a bigger stream, but you never pop in on someone smaller.
Yeah, I see that a lot. Yeah.
And people notice.
Get noticed.
And I talk about this all the time with people. I'm like, you can't go to every stream. By Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm burnt out.
Yeah, I'm blaming you.
I'm
a lot.
Out. You want to spend time with my daughter, or just watch TV. Like, wow, I have all these shows that I'd like to catch up on, but if I try and watch everyone's stream that I like, I'm never going to get around to it.
Yeah.
But you pop in there, you chat for a little bit, and then you bounce out.
Well,
I don't expect anyone to sit here for 3+ hours and listen to me.
Yeah.
People do, and thank you, but you're fucking nuts. D Griff says, "Nah, I listen to Punk and watch his reviews, so I can totally disagree with everything he says." I believe there's a lot of people that do that too. I can't imagine watching someone
they have issues
for long periods of time that you just hate.
Just people that do that.
You'd be surprised. Sometimes you get more of that than you do the people that love you.
Oh, I know. I can't imagine doing that. I have no problem. Like if someone says, "Hey, did you see so-and-so's review or their live stream?" And I don't really like them. I don't watch this. Hey, well, they were talking about this. So you want to see what they had to say? Because just because you don't like someone or maybe like hearing their voice, it doesn't mean they might not have a good point of view. Good point of view. They also may be saying something stupid as shit. And you're like, okay, I got to hear this.
Yeah.
Right? I think we've all been there, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think we've all had that person.
Once or twice.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
Turn on this fucking moron. Let's see what he has to say.
What a waste of fucking time doing that.
Anyway, listen, fellas. It's midnight. I have to run a stealth mission with Felix. I got to throw a couch out in the dumpster. So
right on, brother.
Yeah, I think it's time to bow out.
Oh, that's what you call it, Tony? That's okay. All
right. I'll take it easy, guys.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on,
everyone,
bro.
Thank you. I was hoping more people would join and talk about it, but it's been 3 hours and I've had a blast.
Halloween.
Yeah. Well, again, that's why I kind of opened it up to everyone. We had 30 people watching almost the whole time, and
it's awesome.
There are people that still wanted to have kids late in life.
Right.
I'm so glad mine are older. Sometimes I can't always. I'm so glad. But Tony, Lenny, obviously the other Tony, and Darren and Crow, thank you guys all for joining. Again, I had a blast, and I like when sometimes we can talk about other things than toys, even though everyone says that wrestling is boring.
I used to watch.
I think when you get two people that just talk about stuff, and it's they're having fun, it can be entertaining. So, Matthew says, we had my kiddo at 40. We're fucked. Yeah, I tell everyone. Like,
I had mine at 32, I think.
I had Andrew at
17 years ago. So
yeah, Andrew, I think at 31, and then Olivia at 34. I think
right around the same. That's why they're in the same age. Yeah.
Yeah. Susan was a year, almost
it's
2 years
Andrew,
older.
Aaliyah, and then Olivia. Yeah.
Yep. So, All right, guys. Thank you very much. I am actually going to end it. So I'm not even going to play the exit because.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh no! It's time to leave.
Oh no! Tony's figs. Oh my god, he hates Moss Man.
I don't know how you hate Moss Man, but all right,
Thanks
guys.
very much for having me on.
Oh, dude, thank you
All right,
so
Frost,
much.
bye.
It was
Later
great.
on, Lenny.
Take it. Everyone wave to